Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Gilded Flask, where adventure is never far. My name is Barry. I will be your dungeon master for this episode and hopefully many more to come. And I'm joined by three wonderful people. Please introduce yourselves.
Hey, I'm Anne, and I play Kala Lilakat, the investigative journalist of the group.
I'm Daniel. I play John Varenthal, the very cold human paladin of midnight.
And I'm Marissa. I play Kasariel, the ASMR Twilight Cleric.
Oh, yes. If you've never visited our place before, then hello and welcome. Good to see you. If you are watching us on YouTube, then great, you found our YouTube channel. And if you're watching us on Twitch, then hello, welcome with us live on Twitch. Oh, yes. If you are following us live, then that's great. But if you are not, then you can go on over to twitch.tv/The Gilded Flask on every Saturday, and you can chat with us live over there. Also, between the breaks, we jump into our Discord, so you can have a chat with us if you like that. But obviously, if you don't have the time for that, then that is fine. You can watch us on the YouTube, and you can watch us on all the other available channels that we have as well, including a podcast, so you can listen to us on the go. How cool is that? We are being helped by a couple of wonderful people, and we'll have them down in the description below, because we got some great music, we got some great maps, we got some great armor that we're wearing, like wow. And if you want to know where that is all coming from, then have a look at the links down in the description on YouTube. And with that, let's head into the tale.
Tell me, do you like ghost stories? I've been investigating people vanishing mysteriously into the night, never to return. It looks like I've found out where they've been.
Good evening.
I don't like this place. The air feels heavier.
Did you hear that?
What do you mean he's watching?
In this place, nothing is what it seems.
We come from an ancient land.
There's no time for this. What are you looking for?
This place has taken my father and my mother. It will not have me.
We gotta move, now!
Oh, I do love a good mystery.
Barovia is mine, and so are you.
For the 31st time, I'm going to say it. That's such a good intro. I love it. Made by our very own Marissa. That is such a wonderful piece of craftsmanship. Thank you for that. Really gets me worked up. So, where were we last time? Help me out here, guys, because it's been a little while. I know where we ended, but where did we start last time?
Home of Strahd.
Yeah.
At a wedding.
Oh, yes. Yeah, we did.
Birth of a monster.
Yeah, we did episode or chapter number 6, if memory serves, which was the wedding, where the brother of Strahd, Sergei, was to be wedded with Tatiana, which didn't go as planned because, well, hey, it's a D&D campaign after all. So nobody got wed. As a matter of fact, someone got killed, but they weren't killed because with all the bolts protruding from the back of Strahd, where he was double-crossed by none other than Leo de Lisnia, one of his closest confidants turned turncoat, and his army. They shot at Strahd, killing him, but death would not take him because he made a terrible pact with an old god. And as he rose to his final form, that of an undead vampire, the world forever changed. And As people were massacred, Tajana got outside and backed away to a balcony and subsequently fell off into the murky depths below, never to be seen again. And Strahd, really hurt by that, losing his final piece of humanity, had a little chat with you guys before getting a couple more bolts in his back and turning on the army of Leo Delisnia. And that is where the story ended. It's very moving, wasn't it? Because ultimately, like, as much as he's a bad guy, this all happened for love, and that's just sad, right? From there, you had a talk with, I believe, with the Vistani, right? And you decided that you wanted to go to the Amber Temple, because that is the source of a couple of problems that are wrong with this world. But in order to get to the Amber Temple, you have to go through the Tsolenka Pass, which is a rather lengthy trek. You prepared as well as you could. You got some items that you would need to traverse the cold, and you decided to go and see where this pass would take you. At the start of the Tsolenka Pass is where we ended last time, and which is where we're going to pick up this time. So, if you'll allow me, we will start with the ascent right here. So, the journey to the Amber Temple takes you through a very mountainous area that goes up and up and up and around mountains and over lakes, and everything is snow-covered, cold, and frosted. There really is only one road that leads all the way up to the mountain top, which is an old, unmarked road that splits off of the main road that would lead you to Kresk otherwise. In the distance, as you move over this path, you see the Gakis Mountains looming in the distance. As you see the snow fall around you as you are moving up the mountain, you can't help but feel a certain chill, a certain cold that would penetrate you, not just physically, but also mentally, knowing that this is going to be quite the journey. The old road that you are on slowly climbs along the edge of the mountain range, and its winds cut through you like a knife. The road suddenly breaks off into a canyon and is entering deeper and deeper in between the mountains. Patches of forest, and then nothing. A singular tree maybe, and some frozen lakes. As you turn the corner once more, you feel a slight reprieve as the old road begins to decline a little bit into a valley of sorts in between the mountains. Still snow-covered and deathly cold, but at least this looks a little bit more habitable, if you will. There's trees around you, and a large lake is starting to loom in the distance. If you wish to have a moment to talk to each other, this would be a great moment before we continue.
Is everyone doing all right?
There's help. It looks like it's only going to get worse before it gets better.
Ready to press on?
Why do you think they call it the Gakis Mountains?
Maybe there was a man named Gakis who owned them. You might find him here.
You had your coats. He's gonna look over at Cosariel and Carla. Everyone's bundled up tight.
Mm-hmm.
I guess we're as ready as we'll ever be. Let's go.
All right.
All right. Moving further up the path, as I said, you see a large lake looming in the distance. And if you're traveling through a thin line of trees, you see the frozen waters left and right of your path. The road itself is barely visible as it emerges from the snow-covered forest and goes across the lake. The lake itself extends all the way to the north and to the south, for quite a distance before ending in some cliffs that rise hundreds of feet. The snow-covered road in the middle seems to be the only way across the frozen lake, unless you wish to stand on the lake itself.
I'm gonna come to the edge. Is it just solid ice that leads all the way up to where I'm standing?
Roll me a perception check, just to be sure.
That is a 13.
Yeah, this seems to be completely frozen over, for one, and like the reason why I wanted you to have a roll is because you used the term solid. It seems like this has been permafrosted over, so this is probably solid ice.
You guys think the road is safe?
Can we tell what this big dark patch is here to the left of the screen?
It seems like over there, indeed, there is a puddle of water, so the ice is broken there. Are you looking, like, you're looking at it, right? Your character is like...
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You think you notice some splashing in the water as if something is trying to swim there.
Oh. I have a feeling there's something under there.
You think a person could have fallen through the ice?
If they have... Unless they just fell, they wouldn't be moving.
I'm gonna look for... Is there any tracks along the road that we're in the snow? Human tracks?
No, there isn't. Not human tracks. But you do notice some paws. If you want to know what kind of paws, you need to do me a nature check.
Carla, do you know what these are?
I'll give it a go. Carla will attempt to just sort of like see if she recognizes them.
Sure.
So that's a 19 nature check.
Yes, these are wolf paws.
Oh, well, this is fine. It seems to be wolves. We've dealt with plenty of them before.
Do they look bigger than normal?
Not really. No, moderately sized. I mean, wolves over here in this land are, yeah. I mean, but this is not like dire wolf paws are like the size of a bear. So no.
Or what direction do they seem to be traveling?
Same direction as you guys are heading right now. So south to north.
I would hate to be surprised by anything in the lake. It might be best to perhaps send some bait out to see if anything wants to catch it before we step on it. And Carla's going to pull out the bag of tricks and toss one of them onto the ice of the lake, not the path.
Okay. Can you show me roughly where you throw it and give me a roll for what it is?
I'm going to throw it like this direction.
Okay.
As far as I can throw, but I'm not too sure how that is.
We'll do that with a roll. Let's see what you got.
It's a D8. So that's a 4.
Which is, hang on.
Cross finger, brown bear, brown bear, brown bear. Bear, bear, bear.
Wouldn't that be great, right? D4. You just
Woolly mammoth.
So
Woolly mammoth.
You throw as hard as you can, right?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Okay. So you lob this little fuzzy ball through the air, and as it goes, like in midair, you just hear like a little poof, and out of that comes a bird. You just created an axe beak, and it's just flying circles over the water.
Land on the water. Land on the ice. Land on it.
It will. So it'll land on the ice itself. I'm quickly looking if I have like a token for that.
Bit of a rare one.
I love it.
Axe beaks are actually pretty rare. So
Are they like ostrich-like or more like hawks?
no, they're like a toucan.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so they're not that big either.
All your nose into the ice.
We'll just let's see. Do I have anything like a bird or something? No, not really.
He was one of the Mardikovs.
Oh, that's actually a good idea. Like we'll just use a raven token. There we go. Boop. So you wanted to like land on the water, like over there?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. See if anything will jump out at it, and if nothing will, I'll tell it to scout the hole that's in the ice.
Okay. So you can't look through its eyes, right? Like it's not like a familiar. But as you as the axe beak flies towards the water, you notice that the water itself gets a little bit more like splashy, and you can very clearly hear a call for help.
A human
Someone
call for
apparently
help?
a human call for help. It seems that someone is drowning there.
All right.
Alrighty.
John,
Yes. Do you think we can make it? I don't want to break the. I'm gonna start slowly moving across the ice.
Okay. I need you to make me a
heaviest metal
initiative
of
roll.
all.
Oh, he's heavy. Yeah. What?
I need you to make me an initiative roll.
Okay, I can do that. I'm capable of making initiative rolls. I think that's gonna be a roll of a 12, and that's gonna be a 12.
Okay. And you two as well, Casariel and Carla.
Oh,
And
I got an actual 1, and because I can re-roll it, I then got a 3 plus 5, 8.
Okay. John, what did you have again?
12.
You had a 13 or 12. Casariel?
10.
10. Noted.
Are you all right? What? Are you? We're coming to help.
I've fallen. Help.
John, wait a minute. John, wait.
All right, I'm gonna sort of like inch closer slowly, but look back at them. Like he needs help.
Oh, I don't have zone of truth.
Right. From where you are right now,
Yeah.
all the actions that you will do, like for now you're not fighting, as you can see, but I will need you to respect the turn, like follow. So you
Okay.
can do an action and then like so.
Okay. Cool.
Feel free what you want to do, but like keep that in mind.
All right. I'm gonna look
Go.
from the path to where he is. Are there like footsteps or scrabbling or anything readily noticeable? Like I was looking for footsteps. Okay.
Nothing.
I hold my wand of wonder in my hands and hold it up and look at Casario. Do you think I can help?
Absolutely not with that. Why don't you try looking through your eyes and see if it's a fiend or something that's going to kill you?
Oh, good idea. I'm gonna move closer and I'm gonna use only 10 feet. I'm going very slow across the ice. I'm trying to be very careful, and I'm gonna divine sense.
What's your passive? Sure. What's your passive perception?
My passive perception is 14. Holy crap.
Okay. You think you hear a very subtle creak in the ice.
Okay.
You wanted to divine sense?
Yes.
You sense nothing.
Okay. Let me use that. Okay, cool. All right. It doesn't seem like a fiend or something. The ice might not bear my weight. And
All
that's
right,
my
why
action.
don't you come? Oh yeah, I forgot we're initiative. Okay,
I think you're next, though.
I am next.
Yep.
Oh, okay. John, come back. Come back. I'll go get him. I'm gonna come Okay. Let's see. I'm gonna go 30 feet. Like, yeah. Okay.
I don't think. Oh, there it is.
Yep.
Oh, is he wearing armor?
You should be able to see from this distance. No, this guy seems to like he's partially on the water and he's really trying to clamber onto the ice, which is hard. So it's hard to tell what he's wearing. But at first glance, what you will see is that this is an elderly gentleman, and he is wearing like leathers, as in like stitched together leathers.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, that's all I can really do from here.
Okay.
Oh, actually, no. I'll
Right.
use my action to dash. Duh. Sorry.
Okay.
Okay. When I get like right here, ski, I'm gonna go
Yep.
down on all fours so that I'm not putting so much weight on one place,
Smart.
Okay.
and then I'm gonna crawl. It's inch by inch. Like, and if it starts cracking, I'm gonna stop.
Okay.
But I think I could get right like next to him.
What is your passive perception?
My passive perception is 15.
Okay. You notice that the ice is starting to creak as you get closer to him. So where you are right now.
Okay. All right, that was my action. So, can I talk to him as my bonus action? Just ask him a question?
Sure.
All right, stay calm. We're going to help you. Are you all right? Are you hurt?
I'm really cold. Help.
Okay, sure, I figured that part. Yes.
Useless information.
All right, that's the end of my turn.
Cool. Before you go, Carla, you hear a loud howl coming from the woods, and in the tree line, a couple of wolves are starting to pop up.
Okay.
You have a feeling, even though you're like between the mountain range, sound over here sort of carries between the mountaintops, so it's hard to pinpoint sound. Now you can see these wolves, but the sound that they made, the howl, almost sounds omnipresent, as if it's around you. It's your turn.
Can polymorph be used on a person? Like on myself?
If you could polymorph yourself,
We know the rules on that because I know that you have, I wouldn't
You can.
have.
Yeah, I think
Do
I don't
It
see a
should
reason
say
why
the-
not.
The rating that you can polymorph yourself to.
if it's a willing creature, it doesn't need a roll. But if it's not a willing creature, then it needs a roll. But you're
Yeah,
probably
I
willing.
mean that's
if you
the
feel.
only restraint. So yeah.
Okay. I am going to drop my 50 feet of rope. And I'm going to polymorph
Yes.
into a large hawk type creature.
Wow, cool.
Okay.
Like a giant eagle. That's something that you can find in D&D Beyond.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can even ride a giant eagle. That's so cool.
Like a giant eagle type creature. Within limits, of course. And I want to grab basically the end of the rope and start flying as close as possible to the hole.
Okay. That is very
balls.
creative.
That's so cool. Axbeak, help us! Throws the Axbeak at the wolves.
Yeah. It's a bonus action. I'll tell Axbeak to go bother the wolves.
I was joking. Oh no!
I have the opportunity to do it. Why not?
This is amazing.
That is just perfect.
Yeah. Okay. So I have the eagle stats here.
Yep.
Beaky.
So I think it's
Sorry.
beaky. So I think I can do it. It's a challenge rating of 0, so I think that's okay.
I clicked the button and it's like loading very slowly over here right now. Let's just forget about that for now. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so I'll turn into an eagle, and I'll grab basically the end of the rope and start flying. So it says like all of my kind of stuff changes to the eagle speed, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so I'm going to fly 60 feet with the rope, which would get me here, about 50 feet, and I'll drop sort of the end of the rope, like one of the ends of the rope, near the water for him to grab.
Okay.
And then kind of like leave it. And like the way I'm trying to like, I'm envisioning it is like, I drop the rope, turn into an eagle, claws pick up one end and sort of drag it across the ice. One end goes there, but John should be within reaching range of the rest of it. Hopefully.
Yeah, that works. That is such a creative way to solve this. Wow, yeah. I have nothing to say that you couldn't.
Incredible. And yeah, bonus action, I'm going to tell this bird to just go bother those wolves. I'll claw out their eyes.
The bird has like 40, what was it, 60 feet of movement? So it will fly over here.
Look.
All right. That brings us to the top of the round with John.
So what am I witnessing here?
So, did you see her polymorph?
I'm very focused on the guy and Casario, but if she becomes into my vision cone, I imagine I will be like,
I dropped like one end of the rope into the water to him, but there should be like a length of it near you because it's 50 feet.
Yeah, so obviously that you will see, but you do not know that this is Carla.
Yeah, you won't know it's me, but we've seen weirder shit. You can interpret it as much as you want.
Given the fact that the wolves were howling and I'm hearing it in all directions, looking around, I did turn around to say, what do I do to Casario? So
is the eagle purple?
Oh yes, it has a little hat.
Okay, there we go. That solves the problem.
So
With a hat on.
This is amazing.
On,
yeah, so I had been pulling out some rope that was under my cloak, but I see the rope now in front of me. The guy's holding onto it. I'm gonna pick it up and start to try to pull back to more secure ice. Like, grab onto the rope.
Okay.
Rather than just pull from where I am, I'd like to like get a secure hold and start backing up, dragging him out of the water.
Okay.
If that's possible.
You're standing on very slippery ice, so it's going to be tricky, but roll me roll me an athletics check.
Okay, thank you. Athletics, alrighty. That is a 16, 10 plus 6.
Sure, you will get some sturdy footing as much as you can on ice. I mean, it's not like you're suddenly standing in gravel. But this should be enough for the gentleman to get pulled out if he will grab onto the rope. Which would be a roll on his side. And that wasn't too great, but he has a bit of a bonus on it, I believe. That is a 12. Yep, he will make it. So you will, with that, you will be able to pull him out.
All right. And I'm going to try to back up as far as I can while pulling him along the ice.
Which will be like 30 feet.
Okay, cool. So we're I'm content with that as well. Like, do I have anything left? I feel like that's pretty much everything I could have done.
Well, I mean, he's out and he's like on the ice right now, soaking wet, but he's lying there now.
All right. As if I still have an interaction, could I take off my cloak in preparation to give it to him?
Sure.
Cool.
That's just a clasp. Yeah.
Cool. So I'm ready to do that.
All right. Casario.
I think as did you turn into a giant eagle? Is that what you decided? Okay, I think you can carry someone with that creature, and so Casaro is just going to like kind of like reach her hands up for Carla's talons.
Okay, let me just double check the challenge rating of a giant eagle because I have the. There we go. Just to make sure that I'm still within that range. Yes, challenge rating 1. That's fine. Okay, I will reach out my talons and I will pick Casariel up and sort of glide her back towards John. Well, I'll get ready to glide her back during my turn, back towards John. And our lovely new man.
All right. As you guys move back, the wolves will still try to get closer to you.
It's about 60 feet, so I think I'd drop us off here.
Yep. The wolves will get to there. What do you do?
Is it John's turn?
Yeah.
Seeing them come back, I think I'm gonna try to, with my cloak around him, start rushing him back towards where this side we came from, with them. Like try to get everybody back to the solid land over here.
Okay. As you put your cape around him and try to usher him more to the south of the map, you'll notice that he puts up some resistance. He says, "No, no further, no further."
What? We have to look. I turn his head and say, "Wolves, further."
I know. I can't go any further.
Oh, then at least get to the path and try to pull them to the path.
That he will allow.
All right. If I have anything left, I'm going to stand in front of him and pull out my wand and say, "Back, beasts!" And try to act threatening.
Okay.
Maybe start.
The wolves are otherwise. The wolves are unaffected if that is the only thing you do.
That's all I do. Okay. Oh well, did I have an action? I feel like I don't know what level of stuff we can do here. Like actions.
For what you just did, like this is basically just normal combat. There's just no actual combat happening just yet. But there's reasons why I did this. So you still have an action if you want.
Okay, then I cast from my wand of wonder at the closest wolf and say, "Back, beast."
Okay, roll me a d100. Let's see what happens.
Lovely. Let's do it.
Watch it be a buff.
That is a 90? 93. So let's see. Wand of Wonder. 93. A burst of colorful shimmering light extends from you in a 30-foot radius. You and creatures in the area that can see must succeed on a DC 15 Constitution saving throw or become blinded for a minute. A creature can repeat the radius. Yes, within 30 feet of me. Back, beast! And a massive shower of sparks explodes from me in all directions.
You know, I do like that. Your party is within 30 feet, so
yeah.
they will have to roll for this.
Oh, yeah. I'm
John.
sorry, guys. I love you guys.
Okay, what's the save?
It's a DC 15, a Constitution save.
Lord.
17.
That's a 3.
Damn it.
And I got a 11.
Oh my god, I'm gonna fight all these wolves by myself.
So
Damn
back,
it,
beast,
John.
and I look glorious. My armor is sparkling. I'm a very pretty girl in this moment.
I am
How
a
much was the
very
save, you said?
confused bird.
Say again?
The save was a 13, right?
15.
Okay. Well, that doesn't really change anything. The old man is blinded too.
We're all blind except for Casario. I imagine that Carla is between me and Casario didn't see the sparkles.
I'm still kind of an eagle, so I imagine like I kind of the flash spread my wings out, and it actually blocks some of the flash from hitting her.
Love it.
I'm
So the
sorry.
wolves are otherwise unaffected, but they do see this
Massive
display of light, and they decide to retreat.
Yes! Oh my god, thank you. I'm gonna use a charge of wonder.
John's
That
blind,
also
right?
drops to combat for now.
Okay.
John's blind, right?
Yes.
Is he still holding that wand?
Are you?
I have 10-foot blind sight as well, though. So yes.
But
I
are you
am.
still holding the wand? Okay.
I've. What happened? Where'd everyone go?
I probably would know you have blind sight. Never mind.
Steal my wand.
Carla will fall
now
out of
guy's
the air.
freaking out.
Will fall out of the air and turn back into a human. Well, not a human.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Just
think
kind of like-
every turn we get to remake the thing, so it's just gonna it should take a couple of seconds for us to. So every 6 seconds we can retry this. I think.
Yeah.
I'm out of it after this first one. I got a 19.
Got a 16. Does that make it?
That absolves you. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Oh, John, you don't know what that does. Ugh.
It is also the wand of wolf scaring.
I'm gonna try to grab it. As he
No,
shows
this
Carla the
is-
wand.
This is mine.
I'm gonna try to grab it. Rollies.
Good luck.
Yeah, go ahead and roll an opposing strength check. Let's see what happens.
I am going
be
to make
strength?
you into wolf food if you do that
You can-
again.
Just a straight up strength check.
You can do dexterity if you try to be like nimble about
Oh.
it.
Yeah, okay.
I got a 9.
12. Yes.
You got
Oh
it.
no!
No, my wand.
No, you can have this back when you learn how to use it.
I know how to use it. I
Take it
pointed
away.
at things and things happen.
I'm so sorry. You must feel as though you escaped one terrible situation and have found yourself in another one. I'm Gasariel. This is John and Carla. What's your name?
I'm Bogda.
Oh, we met your friend from Valaki.
Did you?
Yes.
And
Bishop
who-
Keep, the leather worker.
how fares he?
He's doing well. He kitted us out with these. They're quite well, aren't they?
Yes. Yes, they do. Forgive me, I usually don't look the way I do right now. It's... I've been out hunting and I wandered too far. I'm very weak.
Oh, well, we can do something about that, I think.
You have a place where we
Wait,
can
what?
make a fire because it's really cold right now.
Yes. I come from a village not too far from here. It's called Bargo.
Agda from Bargo.
Hmm?
Agda from Bargo. I quite like it. Has a ring.
Oh, thank you.
Do you have your own cloak?
I do, but it's soaked.
Okay, he's gonna use prestidigitation to start drying it.
All right.
Can I do that?
Carla is going to use the Book of Misspells to pull out the Mage Armor.
The most useful spell that any of us have out of all of our spells.
I love
I'm
it.
like the only one you're using. I love it.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah. And I'm going to root around for something for him to wear.
I mean, it doesn't even, like, whatever you roll, there's always something there. It just depends on the quality. So sure, there's some dry clothing in there.
Okay. Let's see what quality it is. What do I roll for that?
For the mage armor, I believe you need to roll a d12, was it?
12. Alrighty.
Let me quickly check.
2.
That is traveler's quality. So that's just, it's it's clothing.
It's dry. I start handing him like cloaks and like other little bits and scraps and like, hey, just put it on. Preserve your modesty.
He looks like you see a hint of oh god, like looking at the clothing because it's very clearly like this is magic user's clothing, but it's dry and like he understands how important that is. While he is putting those clothing on, all three of you notice something about this man.
Mhm.
He is growing older. When you found him, when you pulled him out of the ice, he looked like a well, almost elderly man, like 60s, 70s somewhere. It's like not he shouldn't be out hunting by himself. As he's changing his clothing, looking at him, he's starting to push 80, 90 maybe. His hair goes pristine white and he's getting frail.
Yeah.
How did you
I am
survive so
too.
long up here?
I usually don't come this far. We really should go back to the village soon.
I'm
gonna look at-
Sorry.
John and Carla, are we aging like that?
You're not.
Have you encountered something that's accelerated your aging?
No, it's a long story. I went hunting as I do most days, and there was a blizzard. And I must have wandered farther than I thought beyond the forest. Stray too far, and the curse takes hold, and I, like those in my village, will die. If you can help me back to my village, I will be very grateful.
Are you a raven
You will
too?
be welcomed. He looks at you at a loss for words. I'm not really sure what you meant.
Never mind. Give me back my cloak.
The man, barely wearing some scraps of traveler's clothing, hands back the cloak and stands there shaking in
God,
cold.
never mind. Here, I thought he had a cloak. I'm sorry. Never mind. I'll just follow them.
Lead the way, please.
Yes. As he puts up the last couple of pieces of clothing, you notice that he's wearing a tusk necklace, and you notice that the tusk necklace itself has some carvings on them.
That's pretty. I'm kind of nod at it.
I'm quickly looking if I can show the picture to you guys, but because it's on an item, I can't really. It looks like a couple of like straight carvings, almost as if it's sort of a cipher.
Casario, do you think if we go with him, we'll be cursed too? Casario, did you? Am I muted?
No.
No, you can hear you.
Okay, sorry. I just
Are you guys waiting on me? I'm so sorry. I gotta.
Yes.
What? I'm sorry.
I just said, Casario, do you think if we go where he is talking about, that we'll be cursed too?
Yes.
Oh, okay. That clears that up.
Fair enough.
Will we? I'll turn to the man. Will we be cursed if we go to your village?
It's been a long time since we've had visitors, but I don't believe the curse extends beyond those that were already living there when it happened.
That necklace of yours, it's quite pretty. What, is it a tribe symbol?
It belonged to my mother, and I know it means something, but I unfortunately cannot read it.
I'm quite good with puzzles and also just sort of general scripture. I'm a journalist. If you are okay, I could take a look as we're walking back to your village.
Of course. You'd be welcome to, yes. I'll send you the picture in a second.
No
No worries. No worries.
Okay. Do you decide to move up the path towards the north?
Yeah, dude's getting old. We need to get him back.
All right. As you move away from the lake, excuse me, around you, you will notice that there are some wolf howls here and there in the forest. You don't see any wolves, though.
When the wolves howl, Carla's going to do a responding howl with minor illusion. Just sort of up in the air and hoping that it echoes out. And she's specifically going to do the howl of the werewolves that they encountered.
Cool. Okay.
Nice.
And I do
scare them off.
imagine you've been turned back into Carla, right?
Yes, as soon as I got blinded, I dropped to the floor and turned into a human.
Fair.
Human Carla.
A halfling. Oh, sorry.
That's it. It's gonna get for so many times. It's polymorph is amazing. It's gonna be great.
Mm-hmm.
On the other side of the frozen lake, the path leads back into the snow-covered forest that you saw on the other side. The deep snow has slowed travel and it is getting colder around you. Between the trees ahead, you notice that there is a small clearing, and there's a large stone boulder with a small obelisk on top.
I'm gonna grab some dried
that?
branches.
Okay.
Carla will point out the obelisk to Bogda, and say, "What is that?" Yeah.
That is a marking of the curse. Beyond that obelisk, we are not allowed to move. I need to get to the other side of this obelisk. As you get closer, you notice that the obelisk itself also has carvings in there, and the carvings are matching what his necklace says. There are different carvings though, but they're the same style. And this image I can share.
Oh, it's Ohm.
Wow, did you recognize that?
I'm Irish. It's the original. Oh my god, one more there. I'm going to very quickly.
If you can read this, feel free, because wow, that is shocking that you recognize that. It is.
I can't, but I have a world expert living in my home.
That's amazing.
My roommate has a PhD in ancient Celtic studies, so would you guys be okay if I sent that to him?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
That is so cool. So, for clarification for those of you that are watching, the image right now that you're seeing is it's a little thing that Pyram King added into this map, and I loved it. So I was like, I'm going to keep it. Pyram King loves putting things in from like ancient texts and books, and he has a love for like Celtic stuff. So yeah, that's exactly where it comes from. It says so in the description, and I was like, oh, that's cool. You guys will never recognize that. Guess you do.
Irish, man.
That is so cool.
The college I went to has some of the like stones that the first writings were actually marked onto. It's awesome. It's great. Great Irish culture. Love this Pyram King. 10 out of 10.
It looks like a frog. The lines. You can see the eyes up here, the nose. It's a frog.
1 second, we're gonna find out. Carla, to flavor text this, Carla's going to sort of look at it and then reach into her bag and pull out some of her older journals. On sort of like from some of the people she worked with. So in my head, I always actually modeled one of the people who work at the Violet Gazette after my roommate. So she's going to like look through his sort of writings that she's gotten over time for like investigations and see if she can interpret it. As she's doing it, as she's sort of looking at it and sort of writing it down to interpret later as well.
I love it. So while you are looking at the obelisk, and while we're waiting for the confirmation of text, of course, you notice movement behind the obelisk, and as you look up to see what's there, you see a person stepping forward and holding on to the obelisk as she looks down at you. You see it is a female, and she's dressed in warrior's clothing. And Bogda, who is lagged behind a little bit behind you and is now a really frail old man, drops to his knees as he sees her. and he starts to cry.
Didn't he need to get to... Don't you need to get over here? And he points over to the other side of the obelisk.
I do. It's the Shield Maidens. And the Shield Maiden, who stands near the obelisk, bellows to all of you. And she says, "In the name of the Order of the Silver Dragon, answer thy riddle, and you may pass. This thing all things devours. Birds, beasts, trees, and flowers. Gnaws iron, bites steel, grinds hard stones to meal, slays kings and ruins town, and beats the mountain down."
I'm gonna whisper.
You have 1 minute to talk.
It's time. Do you think
No. What? No, it eats things. Has to be something big. Probably a dragon.
No, Kasariel, I think you're right. That's incredible. Answer her.
Do you think it's
You're
time?
right.
What if it's not time?
She's only giving us a minute. We might need more time.
Okay. Any other thoughts that what it could be? What is
My initial thought was wind or fire, but eventually death would not take a mountain,
no
but time would erode it.
I mean,
Yes.
I'd probably say a silver dragon, but you probably know more about this than I do.
Turn back to the Shield Maiden, sort of look at Kasariel.
Our answer is time.
She nods at the four of you and says, "You may pass. Go and be safe."
Was another option a silver dragon? Because it does a lot of those things too.
She ignores you and walks back.
I'm gonna come over and help Bagda.
He really needs assistance at this point.
Yeah.
I really wish I would have packed my greater restoration spell. Didn't. Does it seem like a cure wounds would help him?
He's not wounded. He's just very old.
Yeah.
Like at this point, he looks like 120.
Oh boy.
All right, let's,
Okay.
Because Ariel and I will both take an arm and help him across the threshold.
Okay. As you carry him beyond the line of the obelisk, so to speak, you notice that he very loudly breathes in and then leans against the stone and says, I need a minute. This is good. This is good.
I'm going to set up the branches and start making a fire on this side of him.
Sure. Making a fire will take a couple of minutes, and you will indeed get the fire going. And as you do, you will notice that Bogda is slowly de-aging. It takes a while, but very slowly, he starts to look a little bit more, well, lively, if you will.
Hey. Well,
I cannot tell you how grateful I am.
Welcome.
Yes?
Is the first word Bargu, the name of the town?
It is.
Yeah. Something to time.
Correct. Something to time. That is amazing.
Yeah. They said that they just have a little bit of trouble with that second part of it, but Bargu, something to time. Yeah. So Carla will say the same, I can't quite get the second bit of this, but what does it mean?
As I said, I cannot read it, but perhaps my necklace can help. And you notice that his necklace has one symbol the same in the second word. It's the first one. His necklace starts with that, as does this word. Still, that doesn't give you any clue as to what letter that might be.
Is it a D? Or... yeah, that's what we're getting from it.
No.
No? Okay. Can't figure it out. So, not being able to figure it out, Carol is going to try and tap into arcane magic and cast Identify on the necklace. See if you can get anything from that.
That's a smart approach. Sure. His necklace is dedicated to his mother. As he said, it belonged to his mother. You get a very strong sense of the word Lena.
Lena. Bargo lost to time.
There you go.
Is that what it says?
As you mentioned that sentence, Bargo lost to time, Bogda looks up and says, well, that certainly fits, seeing the curse that our village has. We are lost to time. Almost a wicked sense of humor to put it on the obelisk that marks the end of the world to us. I'm feeling a lot better. Thank you. As you look at Bogda, he looks like a man in his 40s, 50s right now. You have a feeling he's still getting younger though.
So is it the obelisk that's correcting your curse then?
The obelisk is just a marker. The curse comes from something much darker. I don't know the exact history, but our village elder might be able to clue you in. If you are okay with it, I would be happy to bring you to my village, where you can ask these questions yourself.
So breaking the obelisk wouldn't have helped you?
I can't imagine so. Besides, it is also a mark of honor for the Shield Maiden. The Shield Maiden I saw up there had a striking resemblance to, well, let's just say to someone I know. The Shield Maiden are a bit of legend, but they too are wrapped in history, forever bound to the time that is now lost. We say it is a sign of good fortune when you see Shield Maiden, but only if they are on your side. And it seems, for you, strangers, they were.
They always do riddles?
Not that I know of, no, but I haven't run into them that many times. Tell me, what are your names?
Well, I'm John Barenthal. And these are my comrades.
Carla Lilacott. Like I said, I'm a journalist from Neverwinter.
Azariel.
I'm thrilled, and thank you.
Nice
Again.
to meet you, Thrilled.
Do we know, and I just missed it, why he suddenly started getting better?
He said that he needed to be helped beyond the totem, and now that beyond the obelisk, and now that he is aging back. So apparently there is a sort of range around his village where he can't go past.
I understand.
So if you go this way and he points south, you get older.
Correct. It works in other ways, in other areas as well. I can't stray too far from the village is what it comes down to, but I was hunting and I was caught in a blizzard. I lost my way.
Magda, how old are you? When were you
22.
born? When were you born? What year?
I believe in the year 41, but our calendars are different from, well, the rest of Barovia. It's been some 400 years ago now.
That's what I had thought. So something in your village is keeping your people alive, but it's got a radius. So if you exit that radius, then you die.
Correct.
You're 422 years old?
Give or take, yes.
Do you know who else that we know is 400 years old and shouldn't be?
Castamere?
Do you know a wizard? Do you know a wizard, Bagda?
I know of whom you speak, and I have never met him in person, but yes. You speak of the Dark One.
Dark one.
Exithanta?
Oh. No, that is... Forgive me, I think I misspoke.
The dark one. Do you mean the lord of the land? You said your elder might know more about what's causing this.
Yes. If you would allow me, I would bring you to my village, and perhaps we can give you more answers there.
Is it near the Amber Temple?
At the mentioning of the Amber Temple, you notice that, like, his eyes grow a little wider. You came to seek the temple.
And what lays within?
A dangerous place, from what I've heard, but as you might imagine, I've never been there.
Why
That's
not?
out of the radio.
It's well beyond the reach of my village. Our elder knows about the temple and might also be able to give you information on that. I believe he once worked with the temple. But you might be better off asking that to him yourselves.
Well, then let's go meet him, shall we?
Yes.
Do the shield maidens live in your village as well, or do they live nearby? Do they have their own?
If only they lived in our village. No, they live in the forests. And we do not know where either.
Did the shield maiden have like armor of metal on it?
A bit of metal and a bit of cloth, but like, let me put it this way: the armor that she was wearing versus the climate that you're in didn't match.
All right, I guess I'm gonna look at Casariel and Carla. I guess we're going to a village.
Yes.
All right, allow me to lead the way. And as he is leading you towards the village, he is getting younger and younger, and he's starting to look like a man in his, say, 30s.
Does his hair continue to like stay the same length, or does it also shrink?
No, it's the look is roughly still the same. It's just not as gray anymore as it was. You continue on for quite a little while, and after, say, an hour or three, you come to a bit of a clearing near the side of a mountain. You notice that there is a almost completely solid frozen waterfall here, though there is some water still falling down. A broken bridge lies across the still streaming water, and several buildings around the water lie broken. To the south of you, you notice some sort of a temple, also completely razed to the ground.
Are there any standing buildings?
Other than like the occasional chimney, no.
Can you take
Yes.
us to your leader?
Yes. Forgive me, it's not much to look at, but this is the entrance to our village. Mind you, this is not the village itself.
Oh.
It used to be, but...
I was going to say, if this was your village, you've had 400 years to clean up, man.
You know what? Bogdan will find that hilarious too when you say that, so he'll laugh. And he'll say, this used to be the outside village. The rest is concealed within the mountain. The temple of the Fae down here is what remains of the village, really. And even that is not much to look at, but it is still a sacred place to us, and it permits us not to reconstruct it. It is still sacred.
Temple of the Fae? Like the Fanes?
Yes.
Would it be the Mountain Fane?
All three of them, yes.
We have them.
You have 3 mountain fanes?
No, there is a mountain fane, a water fane, and the fane of the forest, and we worship them here.
I think we met one of them.
We did. We met the Fane of the Forest. We were going to look for the Mountain Fane. Would you know anywhere about where it could be?
I do not, but perhaps our leader does. It is deeply entwined with our lore, but also kept relatively secure and safe. What do you know of the Mountain Fane?
We know that they preside over different parts of the land. And that they, when everything happened with the Lord of the land, they were hidden or went dormant of some kind. Presumably to stop him from gaining access to them.
Yes.
We met one down by the windmill, I think, and she gave me this, and he'll produce the face staff. She gave us this.
A face staff. I will lead you to the entrance to our village, but be careful. If the Faes look upon you favorably, it might have an effect on the village.
A good or a bad one?
Hopefully good, he says.
No. Mascara sort of peeks in at this temple and at these statues.
Yes.
What do they sort of look like?
They look
If they're
intricately made. And while the rest of the building is basically raised, the statues themselves are pretty much still standing. They are flawless, and they're basically 3 very elegant statues of women whose beauty is beyond compare for a stone statue. They can really only be the face. Like, you know, you can't think of anything else that this might be dedicated to, so it really makes sense. They look like 3 women. One of them looks relatively old, one of them looks middle-aged, and one of them looks relatively young.
Okay. And is there anything that I can spot within this ruins that has like writing or anything at all on it?
No, everything is like cast to rubble.
She keeps it in mind and follows the gang.
Okay. So how do you want to cross the river? This is flowing water. How do you want to cross this? The bridge itself is out, as you can see.
Do either of you have anything that can freeze the water?
No.
I can make something slightly colder for a minute or so. I think. I haven't really tried that.
Is it just 10 feet that we'd have to cross?
It is only 10 feet that you'd have to cross, but the water is running relatively quickly as it is coming from a waterfall. And if you're looking towards the south, you notice that the water itself, a little further ways down, is also coalescing into another waterfall going down. If you hit this water, there is a chance that you're going to be dragged along with it. So, whatever
Okay,
choice you
I'm
make,
going
make sure that
to-
you make it consciously.
Take out my rope. Excuse me, John. I'm gonna back up like 20 feet, and I'm just gonna take a running jump. I can't, but that's what I would like to do. It won't let me.
Hang on, why can't... Oh,
I don't know.
I see. My bad. Let me fix that.
It's okay. I really
There
don't
you
have to do it, but that's what I want to back up 20 feet and then just like with my rope in my hand, try to jump for it. And I'm gonna obviously fly if I don't make it, but
It is not the worst jump, so you should be able to make that. Make me a athletics check.
just a regular check, right? Let's see,
Yeah.
I don't think I have like a negative one. 8.
Ooh, no. You jump shy of the other bridge, and you will fall down into the water.
I will bamf my wings out and not fall.
And that I will allow. So you will make it with that.
Yeah. And so then I will tie the rope securely to the bridge and then toss Carla.
Carla will take it and kind of look back at John and like she'll wrap the rope around her waist and like tie it so she's secure. And she's going to look at John and she's going to be like, "Could you toss me over?"
Toss me.
Sure. He gets up here and he makes sure he checks that the rope is secure and Serial incoming. Huck's a halfling.
All right. Give me a strength check.
Right. That is going to be a total of 13.
Sure.
Awesome, yeah. So she'll land, stumble a little bit.
All right. He walks over to Bogda. How would you normally get across this?
Me? Oh, I just usually go via the ice sheets over there near the waterfall, and he like walks over here where the ice is thicker. He says, "No, just walk over."
Right. Okay. And he follows him.
Okay.
I'm gonna pull
He
out
just
my
walks over.
I'm gonna pull out my climbing kit and like just make sure that I'm ready to grab onto the ice if I slip.
I
And you
untie my rope and put it back in my pack and look fucking cool flying.
Could you move my token over? I can't.
Yes, I can.
Thank you.
There you go. All right. It's not that far from here. Please follow me.
While I have my wings, I'm gonna
Yep.
fly up into the air as high as I need to
Yep.
go to get like a overview of everything. Is there anything that I see? from, like, way up here?
Nothing that the map already reveals. So you're near a cliff. You see the waterfall. There are some trees around, the occasional like cliffside, but nothing out of the ordinary really. Give me a perception check, nonetheless.
Okay, I will roll a different dice than that. Oh, terrible. 9.
9. You think you see a bear in the woods, but they're woods after all.
Keep flying.
Okay. John, you have this phase staff with you, right?
Yep.
Okay. So as you walk between these houses, you hear a very subtle hiss on the wind. And as you look around you, you see that within the broken houses, no less than 3 spirits coalesce into being and angrily look at you.
Bogda.
Roll for initiative.
Oh,
He looks back at you and he's like, and that's all you're getting. So
Yeah, okay.
roll for initiative.
all of us?
Ooh.
Are all of us doing it, or is it just John?
No, all of you.
Okay, that's a 18.
Same. I guess roll off. Actually, no.
Come on,
You can
roll
go
these.
ahead. You can go ahead. You go first.
No, let's do release. It's fun.
All right. All right. Oh,
Got a
cock
3.
die. 1.
Oh, great. So I'll go first
Wow.
then.
Okay. Yeah, I
What
was
did you
worried.
get, Casario?
20.
20.
Nice.
Okie dokie. Then that means that you can go first, Casario.
All right.
Which makes sense because you're flying and you see this and you're like, hey.
Yes, I will fly back down low enough. Well, it's 120 feet, so I'll be fine. Since I'm flying, I'm gonna clock the one that's to the south of us.
Okay.
And I will toss 2 moonbolts at that one.
Okay.
A natural 20 and for like 29. And then
Nice.
13, 22.
Those both hit.
Okay, so the natural. I need to roll one at a time because then this is for the natural 20. 18 points of damage,
That is what kind of damage?
radiant damage.
Okay, so that doubles.
Oh, he's got what is that called?
Weakness?
When you're like susceptible to something.
Weakness to it.
Oh.
He's undead, so yeah, he's.
Oh, cool.
Okay, because I did already double it for the crit.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
It still
Yeah, but
doubles.
yeah, that's double for the crit, but it still doubles because it's an undead. So yeah.
Oh, I am a god.
So when
Okay.
she's flying down, I imagine the sun is right behind her, and it just like this massive blast. Oh, that's so cool.
Beautiful.
That's so cool.
Okay, that's only the first one.
Yeah.
The second one is 3 points of damage, just 3.
Times 2, right?
No, that was just 1 crit. I just crit on the
But
first one.
times 2 because
Second one
it's
was a-
still.
Yeah, but it's still radiant damage.
Oh right. Okay, yes. So
Yeah.
6.
As a side note, when you're in that form, do you get to add something to one of your attacks?
Yes. Thank you for saying that. I surely do, and I've never done it before. I do. I get
That's
to 9. And then is he still alive? Hold on, let's ask that first of all.
Well, I mean, alive is a debatable like term, but yes, he's still standing.
Moving. Okay. And 9 additional points of damage.
Okay, he's obliterated.
Amazing. I
Oh,
love
it's
it.
gone.
That was cool.
Pew, pew.
Okay, and then so that only lasts for 1 minute, so I imagine like I probably am. It's fading.
Okay.
So I'm gonna like lower back to the ground before I fall, and then that's it for me.
I love it. The 2 ghosts float toward John and both attack him.
Oh boy, this is.
Let's see. One of them will try to do a withering touch on you.
Ooh.
Does it touch me?
Well, that depends. Does a 17 hit?
No, it does not. I have an 18.
Lucky.
Ooh.
The other one, however, will lay its hands on your shoulders and look deeply into your eyes. I need a charisma saving throw, my friend.
Oh my. So I'm actually really lucky because that's one of the ones that I get what do you call it? Oh, I have a natural 20, which means that 29, sir.
Oh, you're fine.
So I had to be
the
the
ghost
30,
is-
right?
Well, I'm not going to tell you
Oh
what you
my
had to
God.
beat,
No,
but
I'm
you
joking,
beat
I'm
it.
joking, yeah.
So the ghost will not possess you this time.
Oh, wow.
That
Okay.
news bears.
That is bueno.
John,
That's
that's
good.
just super scary.
All right,
too.
Carla.
I am going to. What am I going to do? Sorry. I am going to roll a tail. I'm going to roll a tail with my bonus action. Okay. And. Inspiration for 10 minutes. Okay. Okay. Sorry, I am confused. All right, so for this one, you'll see her kind of like take out her hands and sort of shoot them out towards. I am so sorry. I'm so rusty.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I'm looking up my things I can do too.
Yeah, she's going to kind of shoot her hand out, and I'm going to take my full action to bring forward the tail immediately towards the one that looks the most hurt. And she is going to cast Tail of the Beguiler. Now, usually this is this sort of like beauty queen, but this time she's actually, when she's reaching out, she is kind of saying repeatedly the name of the god from the book, the one that lies in between.
Yeah.
And she's going to try and sort of like get within to this ghost's head, and it's going to need to make me a wisdom saving throw.
Okay. That is a... Does he get any bonuses on that? He does. That is an 18.
Yeah, it saves. So I think it only takes... Okay, so it doesn't take any damage then. So she tries to like reach in, but it's not her usual sort of tail. So it kind of dissipates out, and she's going to go, oh shit, and run behind cover.
Fair enough.
Girl.
John.
Good girl.
All right. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and bonus action Hexblade Curse, the one to my right, and start wailing.
Okay.
All right, here we go. And that is going to be 11 plus 6. 17 to hit.
That hits.
Okay, cool. And 15. Oh my god. I need to actually think about things now. 21 damage.
Thinking things is so
21 damage for that.
What kind of damage is that?
That is bludgeoning with a magical weapon.
Oh yeah, that's fair. Okay, noted.
All right, and this time I'm gonna. It didn't, it connected with something, but didn't quite. So I'm gonna go ahead and, if I hit it, I'm gonna try to smite on this one. Okay, one more point. So 18 to hit. And
that hits.
I'm gonna go ahead and smite it. So that's 2 plus 16, 18. So it's 18 bludgeoning damage with a magical weapon, and it is undead, correct? So I get one extra D8.
Correct.
All right, so that is an additional 14 damage radiant.
It's gone.
Cool. That's one of my.
You guys are a fucking tank.
And I used my bonus action already to curse it, so I don't have it a bonus action anymore. Okay. Well, damn.
Cool.
I'm gonna turn and look at the other one, and I'm actually going to position myself between it and Bogda. I know everybody else can take care of themselves. I don't know about Bogda.
Bogda pulls a dagger and looks at the ghost, but is not sure what to do, and is just standing there, and that will be his turn. All right, Sariel.
Yeah. Kazariel is going to run so that she does not get an attack of opportunity from this fine gentleman that John's fighting. So she's got her wings out. She obliterates the guy behind her. She lands, and she's sort of still running towards John. She's going to reach out, cast protection from evil and good on him. So her hands radiate a golden light, and then she's going to back up. So that was 20 feet, 25, 30.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I'll stand in front of Carla.
Cool. Carla Casariel, you hear a loud roar coming from the trees as a brown bear is coming to see what's up here.
So fun.
John. The ghost is really not happy with you and does a double attack on you. Withering Touch and Possession.
Does it have
With a Withering
disadvantage
Touch?
on those from the peasant?
It should.
Yay!
Yeah, you. So, oh, that's detect evil and good. Wrong one. Creatures of those types have disadvantage on attack rolls against you, and you can't be charmed, frightened, or possessed.
Correct.
Thank you,
So.
Kazan.
That was more for
the
us than
attack-
for you, to be honest, because I don't want you trying to Great Weapon Master smite me.
For the attack with disadvantage, I have a 19 to hit.
Yeah, that's gonna hit.
That hits you for 17 necrotic damage.
Ow.
And it'll try to possess you. Just for the heck of it, roll me a charisma saving throw. Like, you will not be possessed because you're safe, but I just want to see.
Yeah, let's just see what would have happened. All right, let's see. Roll this. Boop. 13 plus 9, 21.
You would still be fine,
Okay. Whew.
but you are regardless.
Yay. Thank you. Thank you, Kazan.
Welcome, buddy.
Cool. Carla.
Oh, yes, my turn. I'm going to see the fucking bear that's appeared behind us.
Yeah.
And I am...
Go to sleep.
Oh, I know. It's not going to do that. Okay, so I'm going to pull out the bag of tricks.
Yes.
And I'm gonna hope for a bear. And I'm gonna roll.
We're giving it a friend.
Yeah. Roll, yeah. Where is my... Okay, bag of tricks. So that's going to be a 7. That is...
That's a giant hyena.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to go make a friend. Go make it your friend. Go chase it away to the hyena as it appears with my action.
That's so
And with my bonus action, I'm going to determine a tail. Okay, that's the same tail again. Great, I'll put that on my next turn. Alrighty.
I got nothing that kind of looks like it, so we're going to go with this one.
Oh, the alluring hyena. I'm going to tell it to just basically keep that shit distracted. Bonus action, determine a tail, and then I'm going to... Oh god. Run for more cover, I think. So like over here into this building. As much as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Oh, there was okay.
Where?
There's not that much cover there, but then again, you are not that big, so this would suffice as somewhat cover.
Yeah, like Casario will count as cover, sorry. But that just seems wrong.
John.
Coffee top. Moonlight above, buddy.
puppies below, and I cast summon Shadow Spawn, and the ghost, the shadowy little stroker pops up next to me.
What?
Okay.
He's gonna pop up next to me and immediately attack the ghosty boy.
Okay, hang on.
Let's see, do I still have his stat block?
There he is.
Yay! I love Stoker. On the south side of the ghost, if possible, just so that he can.
Oh, yep.
Awesome.
There we
Thank
go.
you. All right. All right. So I guess he's just gonna go ahead and excuse me. He's
Bless
going to.
you.
Thank you. That was a big one. He's gonna nip at the ghost heels. And
John is
okay.
allergic to undead. That's canon now.
There's allergies up.
oh, it rolled on to 20 and then rolled off to
Oh,
14.
teasing. I think there's an undead around.
So that is
Something
going to
undead.
be
Yeah.
24 to hit.
That still hits.
Okay, and that's gonna be. Oh, I can only attack. All right, it's gonna also be despair type. So anything other than me, within 5 feet of it, has its speed reduced by 20 feet for that turn.
Okay. That includes Casariel and Bogdan. Then,
within 5 feet of it. Yes, it includes everybody.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's the problem. Yeah. Cool. And let me go ahead and roll the damage. Sorry, I'm relearning the Shadow Spawn as we're doing this. All right. Okay, that's a 6 plus 3, so total of 12 damage, and that is going to be cold damage.
Cold damage.
Yes.
Okay. You notice that it doesn't do anything to this ghost.
Damn. All right, so yeah, he nips at the heels, and it just doesn't even connect.
Nope.
Stoker, go deal with the bear, and I'm gonna have Stoker run past Casariel and try to get next to the bear.
That would provoke an attack of opportunity.
Bring it on.
That is a 23.
Yeah, he has a 14. So yep, that'll hit.
That is 17 points of necrotic damage.
All right, so he's resistant to necrotic damage, so that's going to be.
So that's half.
Yeah.
So that's 9. No, round it down because it's enemy damage. 8.
Thank you. Yep, 8 damage off of 35. Okay, I will keep track of that.
The tough little pup.
Yeah, thank you. That's that. He's just gonna stand there, growling menacingly at the bear. Exactly.
Very menacingly. Casariel.
All right, I will release 2 moonbolts at the undead next to John. A million. That's an 18 plus 9 and a 15 plus 9.
Those both hit.
Okay, so that is 15 points of damage.
Yep, noted.
And then can I look and see what's going on with the bear? Is the jackal distracting it?
The jackal is very menacingly standing in front of the bear, and the bear, being a bear, feels threatened by it. So it seems that is going to be a fight. Yep.
Correction,
Okay.
It's a hyena, but it's a jackal. It's a jackal.
Oh.
It's a jackal. Sorry.
Right, hyena, sorry.
I'm sorry.
That's a Family Guy reference, isn't it? Yeah.
This is a hyena. Okay, I see. Now I see. If you mouse over it, it says this is a hyena. Trust me. My mistake.
That's awesome. I love it.
My mistake.
That's amazing.
Okay, yeah, I think for me I'm gonna tuck her in. I'm gonna tuck in right here. This feels safe. I like this spot.
Cool.
I know it doesn't cover me, but I still feel safe.
So the ghost is being hit by the moon balls and is angered by that, so he will float over to Casariel. John, you can make an attack of opportunity if you so wish.
I'm going. I so wish actually, and let me go ahead and doop. That's gonna be 16 plus 6, 22.
That hits.
Alrighty, and it's, you know what? We're dumping another smite on this. I don't even know how much damage I've done yet.
You can't do that on a reaction attack.
I think you can do it on any, because it's not technically an action, reaction, or anything. It's just added to an attack. But either way, I can look it up later.
Sure.
8
For now,
plus
just make it a
16.
normal.
Yeah, I'll make it a normal one. 8 plus 16, or yeah, 8 plus 16, 24 damage, bludgeoning magic.
Yep, noted. He's still alive though, but that hurt. The ghost floats over to Casariel and tries to make an attack on you. I need a charisma saving throw.
Oh boy.
I'm not charismatic at all.
Oh,
wait.
wait. Do I see
I
this?
I know.
I don't know. Do you from your cover?
But yeah, I would be watching the battlefield. Oh shit. Yeah, and oh my god. Okay, and she's within 30 feet. I'm going to counter charm. If I see it trying to possess her, I'm going to counter charm it.
Yeah, you can do that. Sure.
Yeah. I'm going to see it start to try to like take its claws in, and after experiencing possession myself, I'm like, oh no, she will decimate us if they get their hands on her. And I'll kind of put up like a spiritual shield in front of her mind.
What did you get, Casario?
Oh, okay. I didn't roll. I was like, well,
Roll
what's
for
up? Oh, I rolled an 18 plus 4. It's that ASMR blood. I have a plus 4 to charisma. Who knows? Who knew that?
You would have been fine, but hey, Carla did still try to help you out.
That's still
Yes.
that's clutch. Clutch Carla. Carla the clutch.
Thank you.
In anger, the ghost also swipes at you, and it does so for... Oh, hang on. I always forget the bonus on this one. That is a 24.
That hits.
That is 17 points of necrotic damage, which is halved because you're an SMR.
Okay, so what is that?
So that is 8.
He did it to poor Stoker too.
Alrighty.
Carla.
Okay, so I am going to try once more to sort of gain the upper handing on this ghost as I roll this exact same tale. So I'm going to continue repeating that god's name, which I cannot for the life of me find my notes for. I'm very sorry about that. But it's going to need to make me a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, that's going to be tricky. It does get a plus 12?
That does not make it. Okay. It's going to take 10 psychic. Oh no, oh wait, yeah, 10 is it? Yes, it's 10 psychic damage, and it's incapacitated until the end of its turn.
No, it's not. It's incapacitated indefinitely because it's dead.
Yes.
Nice.
Sort of, as I imagine she pushes this sort of like psychic shield she put over Casario sort of over its head and kind of crushes it within that like sort of spiritual form, and it
Oh God.
dissolves down.
Ah.
And gone.
Yeah. And I suppose I'll just move so that I can kind of see the bear.
Yep.
And just get over closer here. Yeah.
You can also give the hyena an instruction. The hyena basically has its own turn, but I'll let him act on yours.
Yeah, so I'll say, get him. Go get him. Fight him. Fight the bear.
All right. Do you want me to roll for it? Because I have the stats open here.
Yeah, please, if you don't mind.
Sure. It'll try to bite it for a 23, and that will be... Hyenas are actually surprisingly strong. I'm looking at the stats. I'm like, wow, that's not a bad roll. Damage is a little meh, but still 7 points of damage.
That's pretty
something.
good. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Cool. John.
All right. I see this thing get just crushed in front of me. I'm like, don't mess with Carla. And I'm gonna get down here to the point where I can see. I'm gonna look back real quick. What's Bogda up to? Is he?
Bogda, now that the ghosts are gone, is getting his bow out to help out with the bear.
All right. Yeah. Okay. So I'll get over here and just cast a couple of Eldritch Blasts.
Cool.
And that will be. What's up?
I don't want to kill it.
You want to kill it? I don't really.
What
have
if it's
anything-
nice? What if it was going to come and help us? What if it was going to be our friend? What if it's a person?
All right. Can I?
Probably not any of that.
No, Sario's right. We should be avoiding violence as all possible, and he's going to cast. Can I change it to prestidigitation? And
Sure.
I'm going to try to make essentially a shower of crackles to like you just make a harmless sensory effect that is a loud shower of crackles, like a firework display.
To see if you can deter it.
Yeah, we're trying to get it to run away, essentially.
I think that's a raw intelligence check to see if he gets fooled on that. Now, bears aren't particularly intelligent, but even with a -4, he gets a 14, and I'll allow him to see through your guys. He'll stay there.
Well,
Good
if that's
call,
the
though.
case,
That I like that.
if that's the case, then let me get to Stoker, because Stoker's got something up his sleeve. Exactly. All right, how far away is... Okay, so he's going to move, like, essentially fade under the bear, and you get right here, and and do a dreadful scream.
Okay.
Every creature within 30 feet must succeed on a wisdom saving throw against my spell DC or be frightened for a minute.
Okay. Carla, you roll for your hyena. I got your bonus.
Oh, okay. 2.
You just
So that's a no.
scream.
And my spell save is 17. So wisdom.
All right, and the bear. What was it? A wisdom saving throw?
Wisdom, yeah.
He actually makes that with a 20.
No!
30.
Oh,
I think that's my Shadow Spawn's action, and so he's gonna stand there, and he's just gonna clamp his jaws around. Basically, he reduces the speed by 20 feet, so he's just gonna clamp his jaws around, and he's just gonna like slowly get dragged if he goes anywhere.
That's amazing. Cool. Okay. The brown bear itself tries to attack the hyena, because that is the most logical thing the bear would do. He has a multi-attack, so he will bite and claw at it. The bite will be for a 12, and the claw will be for a 18. What does the hyena have for armor class? They both hit. So that is a total of 20 points. The hyena is barely standing. Not looking too good, but he's still there. Top of the rats, Casariel. Oh no, wait, Bogda's still. Almost forgot him. And Bogda will help out, and he will shoot an arrow through the ruins over here with his crossbow. For a 22, and he hits the bear with 6 points of damage. Casariel.
I don't want to hurt the bear at all. I'm just gonna slowly walk towards it. Hi, buddy. Oh, okay. Just gonna look over the jackal, I guess. Listen, why don't you just go back to where you came from, go back to your house, you know, and we'll head on our way, and you go back your way. I'm gonna wait to see if the bear listens, and if it doesn't, or if it tries to attack, I'm holding my action if the bear tries to attack me.
ooh.
It doesn't seem to be inclined to respond to you in kind.
Should we just run while it's attacking this jackal? Should we just get out of here?
Sounds good. Sounds good. Let's go. Let's go.
If it follows us, it might get younger like Bogda did.
Oh, then it'll turn into a pup, and we can easily defeat it. Now, let's go.
Okay, so I'm gonna use my movement.
Bogda loads another arrow onto his bow, and he says, "No, wait, this is food for my village. I'm killing it."
Well, you can't argue with him there.
I can't. I hate it. I'm gonna hold my action if it attacks someone. And then I'm gonna use my action.
Including the hyena?
No, I don't care about the hyena. Wait, is it a real hyena? Because I kind of do care about the hyena. Oh, I don't know.
It
It's
looks
terrible.
like a real
No,
hyena.
It looks like one, but you know that it doesn't last past the
We
morning.
essentially have a dog fighting pit
You know this.
that's happening right now.
Oh my god, don't say that.
I'm sorry, it's a bear hyena
I
fighting
hate
pit.
it.
With
Oh
a dog
my
in there. Shadow Stoker's in there, and he's gonna be attacked by this
All right.
bear.
I'm multi-classing into druid. That's it. That's it. Next level. I'm a druid. I'm gonna save all the animals in this world. Okay. Yep. I'm holding my action in case I have to fend for one of our lives. Other than that, I'm walking away.
I'm loving it. Cool. Carla.
Carla's going to use her action because she sees how much Casariel seems to care about this. So she's going to use her action to message the bear and see if she can get a response being like, "We won't fight you if you won't fight us. We don't want this to be a fight."
Not Chewbacca bear.
Okay.
Bear.
Chewberka.
Understood loud and clear. I am going to bonus action find a tail.
His meat will be a little chewy.
Took me a second. It took me a second.
Sorry, I was officially a vegetarian.
Yeah, so Okay, I think this is an immediate effect one. I roll my tail and it's the tail of the phantom, so almost immediately I think I become invisible. Boop, so I'm gone.
Perfect.
Cool. John.
Sometimes to create peace, we must be a little violent. And he holds up his hand and he fires 2 Eldritch Blasts at the bear. It's gonna be a 15 and a 21 to hit.
They both hit.
And 2 10s. That's a 3 and a 10, so 13 damage. Force damage.
Okay, noted.
And
The bear is bleeding profusely, but
well,
it's
Shadow
just that.
Stoker is gonna bite him.
Okay.
And that's also going to be oh, that's a natural 1. So he's just basically clamped down on both arms and legs just splayed out on the side, just
It's just hanging like a Christmas decoration on the bear. I love it. Cool. That's it.
the bear.
All right. The bear will multi-attack onto the hyena. 1 for a 9, which doesn't hit, and 1 for 14, and that does hit. For a total of 11 slashing damage, which will kill the hyena. The hyena is gone. So the hyena will just explode in a loud burst of nothing.
No, Jake the Jackal.
And the bear will
Definitely
angrily
hyena.
look around what just happened. Bogdan will load up another arrow and shoot at the bear. For a... That's going to hit. 24, yep, for 6 points of damage, thereby killing the bear. Fuck this guy. I killed my own creature.
Do you feel like successful? Do you feel like one of the players?
Do you feel like
As a DM, I feel like I robbed you of a cool, like a cool moment.
You won
It's
and
like,
lost at the same time.
No,
Yeah.
you can take that moment from me. I don't. It.
Yeah, I think all of us were trying to not let it happen, but at the same time, it had to happen.
No, I get it, but you must use every part of it, Bogda.
What do
The
You eat off of a bear.
almost everything except the liver.
Why not the liver?
Trust me, if you eat a bear liver, you will not be able to tell the tale. Something about vitamins and whatnot. You wouldn't understand. Allow me. And he takes the bear by the paws and drags the bear.
Well, if you need help, but Carla's going to pop back into existence, like right next to him. If you need help, I have a bag that could probably hold it until we get to the village.
My God. A bag of bears.
Bogdan just shrugs at you and laughs, and he says, "The village entrance is over here. It's not that far. Follow me."
All right.
And he slowly pulls the bear along.
I really did try to talk to it, Kasariel, to see if we could maybe reason with it, but I think it
No,
was
I
just
see.
there.
It is food for us people. It's fair.
I sparkled at it.
You did. It was a good idea. I was going to try to put it to sleep, but then I knew he would just shoot it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Oh well.
In the side of the mountain, you see that Bogdan pushes away a bit of rock, which, with surprising ease, it seems that it was more of a facade than anything. And he heads in. And as all of you...
As he's dragging
Yes?
the bear, I wanted to say, so what's with the ghosts in this place? You didn't even mention those.
He slumps the bear down and turns around and looks at you, and he says, "These are the ghosts of my ancestors, and nothing gets them riled up anymore. They've been dead for, well, 400 years. I guess technically that doesn't make them my ancestors, but more my peers that were slain back when the curse happened. They are mostly put to rest, but sometimes something riles them up. It's been a good long while since that happened, but I think, and he points at the face staff that you are probably carrying somewhere in your person. I think that might have done something. Make no mistake, it might look that it's wrong that my ancestors attacked you, but I would prefer to see it as a blessing. It seems that you are bringing more than just yourselves. Please, follow me. It's a lot warmer inside than it is outside. And he continues down the little path here.
As we enter, the ring on my hand begins to glow. My ring of regeneration. I'm going to restore some hit points using it. It's 1d6
Nice.
hit points every 5 minutes. So that's 2. And then I would say 10 minutes maybe to get into the...
While you're in,
Every
feel free to heal up, heal back up for
Nice.
the village. You're fine.
That's the regeneration is actually pretty badass. Like,
It's a really cool item. Yeah.
Okie doke.
hidden bargo. Ooh, I like
As you
this
walk
music.
through, it's pretty, right? As you walk through an entrance of the mountain, Bogda goes in front of you. And you see that as you move a little further, you come into a piece of serenity hidden within the mountain. It seems that snow still creeps in here, but this is very well protected from the elements and definitely protected from prying eyes. You would have not found this if it wasn't for Bogda showing you the way. As Bogda goes in front of you, you see that a couple of people are just going about their day here. There's some people sitting around fireplaces, and as Bogda enters, a couple of them stop and look at him and smile, seeing that apparently they're very happy that he has returned. He turns around to the three of you and he says, "Please, these are my guests. They have quite literally rescued me. They are to be treated as guests, and I would like to bring them to our leader." You see other people nodding, and it seems that, for the moment, you are welcome.
Are you all old too?
A Bargo woman scoffs at that, and a Bargo man that stands close says, "In here, we remain the age that we always were. If you think I'm old, then feel free to think that, but you'd be wise not to say that about one of our women."
Well, no, I'm just, if like you have the same thing where if you walk past that thing and suddenly, I'm just wondering. I didn't know how things worked here.
You brought some interesting outsiders, Bogda. And Bogda grins at that.
Take us to your leader, I guess.
Definitely.
Sorry.
Bogda leaves the bear in the capable hands of a couple of his tribesmen, and then goes in front of you towards the main tent.
Sario, what do you make of this place?
I'm very curious what's keeping them all young here.
As you walk along with Bogda, you notice that there is one tent that is slightly larger than the rest, by not by much. As you get to the entrance, you do notice that this tent itself has sort of like a meeting place in the middle, where people can gather and talk. Bogda pushes a flap aside and enters the main tent.
I'm hitting a wall. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, same.
If it is, then let me check. At least reveal that. There you go.
Oh, we're coming in from the wrong side? Yeah.
We are actually. Yeah, that is my bad. I'm sorry. Yeah,
All
the entrance
good.
is on the other side.
Pulls out a knife and starts making his own entrance.
I cut my own path through life, right?
Ooh.
Yeah, very pretty, right?
Ooh.
As you get in, you notice that the tent is rather large, and it has indeed an area to meet with other people. It is, for a tent at least, very well appointed and inviting, in a way. Looking inside, you see Bogda, obviously. You see a man with very heavy fur, with long, white, flowing hair, that is sitting in the middle. And he's flanked by a very young girl who sits close to him, and she's wearing wolf furs. And next to him, there's another young woman with her hand resting on the hilt of a sword. She has a rather hard look about her. The man with the white hair nods and offers you all a seat. The two women do not utter a word, as if they know it is not the time to speak just yet.
Hello.
Welcome. I take it you are guests of Bogda?
Yes, we found him when we were climbing the mountain in some distress.
And you decided the appropriate course of action would be to save dear Bogda.
Yes, we wouldn't leave him to drown.
Well then, brother, and he looks over to Bogda. This is one of the many reasons why I am clan leader and you are not. And you notice that this is said in jest, but there is an undertone of a hit below the belt in it.
Can I have my coat back?
Oh, yes, of course. Bogda unclasps it and gives it back to you.
It's very formidable against a bear, though, you know. So he helped us out in the end, all fair and square. But we wanted to talk to you about this curse that's on your village, if you are, of course, the elder that he mentioned.
Do I look like an elder to you?
Oh, well, I mean, I don't want to offend.
Aren't you like 400 years old?
Yes. I guess in that regard, I am an elder. We have a clan elder who is sitting in a different tent. I will point you to him in a bit. Elder Balan will be anxious to meet with you. You are outsiders, after all, and Elder Balan has dealt with outsiders for a long time in his life.
That's very
No,
interesting. I'm Gasariel. This is John and Carla. What is it that's keeping you all so young here?
Well, you flatter me. I don't consider myself young. I do consider myself in stasis, if you will.
Oh, you're very, very handsome and very charming, and I'm sure a formidable warrior, as I'm sure you all are. We'll skip the formalities. If you don't mind, we're on a bit of a rush. You see, we're trying to save Barovia.
Oh, right.
So if you wouldn't mind, perhaps you could just tell us what's keeping you so young here.
A curse has befallen our village, and in more ways than one, it seems that our lives are at a standstill. But we're always happy to meet with outsiders. Perhaps you can help us with our predicament, and we in turn can help you by providing you safety and shelter, information about the area, information about the temple, which I imagine is your ultimate goal.
Mm-hmm.
Safety we can handle. Shelter, we're gonna leave soon, and information, he points to Carla. That's her deal.
Yes,
Forgive
but
me. I'm sorry, Carla. What is it that's keeping you young? A curse.
Yes.
Who did it?
Is there a way to lift it?
And do you want to lift it? Wouldn't you die if we lift it?
If the curse would lift, then, by all accounts, according to our elder, we would continue our lives, but age gracefully, as others are allowed to do so too.
If you had
Yes, we would eventually die, but wouldn't that be a blessing after 400 years of waiting?
Well, couldn't you make that happen if you just left the ring or something? I mean, we found him really old.
Yes, but this is Barovia, John. Souls don't exactly go away.
I mean,
Plus,
that
he
doesn't.
died rapidly. Do you remember? He aged very rapidly, not gracefully at all.
I mean, death isn't necessarily graceful.
You know what's interesting? I know another man that has said exactly the same thing as what you just said. After 400 years, he is exhausted from living. I wonder, could it be the same thing that cursed you both?
If legend speaks truth, an accident at the Ember Temple was the cause of the misery of my people.
Yes. An accident, was it?
Well, I don't know. All I know is that on that unfaithful day, my village has come to a standstill. We no longer age, but that is not our only predicament. But perhaps, well, that predicament requires a lot more to be solved. My other predicament, you might be able to help with. And he looks at you, Casario, for an extended period of time.
Well, that is something of what we do. You know, we are here to help.
Wonderful. You see, we have an issue on both sides of the time scale. On the one side, we are all 400 years old and not aging one day. If we so wish, we can die. Yes, we can throw ourselves on a sword and be done with it. But I wish my tribe survive. And that brings us to the problem on the other end of the spectrum. Our women, and he points to the girls left and right of him, are seemingly no longer able to produce offspring. It has been some 400 years since the last tribesman was born in our midst. And I would gladly sacrifice my life and throw myself on the sword and be done with it, but knowing that I will condemn the rest that stay behind is something I cannot live with. I need to know that our line is kept safe, that children are being born, and only then I am comfortable with leaving all this behind. So perhaps that is something that you can help out with. And he looks at the three.
We could certainly help try to break that curse.
We could talk to some people at the Sanguine Rose and see if they want to come up here.
I was thinking of a more hands-on approach. You see,
What?
the problem is that we do not know if the problem lies with our women or with our men, but... And he looks over at John. You see, if you are willing to offer some of your time, then perhaps...
I'm not much of a scientist. I don't know how to study things.
I'm going to say
I will
that's a
assure
hard
you.
no for all of us. I don't think
Carlos.
that's particularly...
no. Are you sure?
Hard no.
Yeah, hard
Very
no.
hard no.
Yeah,
That's giving me mixed messages. Not really sure. What do you mean that, Kazan?
Well, I don't think bringing a child into the situation of Barovia is particularly a good thing. And then she kind of like says that and like kind of freezes, remembering Casario's mom. And then she turns back and she's like, yeah, no, we kind of have this whole big saving the whole country thing. Your line continuing into a next one is, make more friends if you're more concerned about that with the outside world. However, I think the root cause, the curse, could possibly be related to what we're looking for. In the Amber Temple, we might be able to lift it with more information, and we would definitely be very persuaded to take a good interest in it if maybe you knew something about the Mountain Fane.
I am pretty sure that our elder would be able to answer all of your questions to your satisfaction. If you so wish, feel free to go ahead and have a chat with him. That is what he is there for, after all.
Mm-hmm.
My good sir, what is your name?
John.
And he looks over. John, I implore you, I understand you are not a man of science, and neither am I, but are you sure that... and he helps the girl to his left stand up, and as she does...
What I do know is that there is a man of science down in Barovia. Next time we pass through, near Valaki, Rudolph, we can talk to him.
Right.
He's a better scientist than I am, probably.
He helps the girl next to him stand up, and as she does, the wolf furs that she is wearing basically part ways and hang loose next to her body, and she's just standing there, like, naked. And he looks at you
and
he
says, no
says,
way to combat the cold.
Perhaps you can help her find other ways to mend her troubles with cold.
I'm no seamstress either. Seamster? I'm no seamster. I could recommend you to Bogda, though. Don't you do leather working or something, or is that your friend?
No, his friend does. Speaking of, Bogda, would you mind leading us to the elder?
Bogda looks over at Churros, his brother, and Churros looks at the three of you, and he says, are you absolutely positive you would not wish to at least try to help us with this predicament?
I told you, I don't know how to fix clothing.
I assure you, what we're asking of you will not require the fixing of any clothing.
John?
This is very confusing.
He's asking you to mate with his woman, to make a child, to put a baby in her belly. That's what they're asking you.
To just see if that, in contrast to what we've been trying for the last 400 years, would work, as you are an outsider. It would be a great honor.
Gonna have to think about that.
I understand. It is a lot to ask.
What an honor, though.
Yes.
What's your name? I'm gonna talk to the woman.
My name is Ruxandra.
What do you make of all this?
What do I make of all what? She says as she looks you up and down.
No. What do you want in this?
Oh, I think I make that abundantly clear, but in case I don't, let me just put it this way. I would do anything to help out my clan.
She wants a baby, John. A baby. She wants you to put a baby in her belly.
I'm not some piece of meat, Casariel.
I didn't say that you were. I'm just translating between normal English
For the first time.
You.
I'm gonna go to hell for this, aren't I?
Yeah.
Can we talk to your elder?
Yes, you can. Bogdan, show them to the elder tent, please, and know that the offer stands, even if you would prefer to
sit.
Focus on your own issues first. I understand.
Forgive us, my dear. You are lovely. I'm going to just kind of bend down and hand her furs back. His honor sometimes overshadows his manly desires. Do you know? He's a very honorable, very good man. A paladin. Do you know? All right then, and I'm gonna just turn around and leave. That's enough peopling for Casariel for the moment.
He's gonna walk out and he's gonna talk to Carla. I just met her. I don't understand. This is all happening very fast.
You are completely correct to be incredibly weirded out by this. This is so okay. It is entirely not fixing the root problem that they have. But hopefully we can help them out and they'll stop propositioning travelers that come their way.
Do you think the problem is that... Never mind.
Maybe we can send Rudolph up. He can help.
Never mind. Probably best not to...
Bogda will walk in front of you towards a cave, towards a tent that seems to be connected to a cave. And as he holds the flap aside, he says, feel free to go on in.
No more propositions in here?
I
Never mind.
don't... And as the three of you enter... Yes, go ahead.
Before she goes, I'm just going to turn to Bogda. Your brother really acted very high and mighty as the elder when we walked in. How do you feel about that? The leader. Not the elder.
My brother is a good leader. He just tries his best.
I don't think John knows what the word pimp means, but
Bogda, are you married? Were you ever?
We don't do marriage in my clan, but yes, I do have my fair share of women, and unfortunately, it has not produced any offspring yet.
Oh, that's unfortunate. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yes. Are you willing to perhaps try and make a difference?
Casariel's face contorts and it looks painful as she wrenches up a pleasant-ish Casariel version of a smile. Ding. I'm just gonna walk in.
Cool. As you walk into the tent, we're gonna take a break, so we'll be right back.
Oh my god.
A horny village.
I need to find some bleach to gargle or something.
Oh, that was funny.
That was a joke. Everybody out there.
Oh yeah, don't drink bleach.
Don't drink bleach. Yeah.
The Gilder Flask says get a different beverage before you join our tavern.
Yep. We're going to go take a break. We will be back in a little while. For those of you that are following us live on Twitch at the moment, if you want to talk to us, we will be in our Discord. So join our Discord. For those of you that are watching through YouTube, thank you for watching through YouTube. Still join our Discord. And yeah, we'll see you in just a bit.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hello, everybody. We are back from our break. Good to see you. Hope you guys had a good break as well. So before our break, what did we do? Well, we made the first ascent of the ascent to Tsolenka. You rescued Bogda, a gentleman from the ice who was drowning and turning very, very old. You brought him back to his village, and he's turning back to his normal age. His village being hidden in the mountains, and while you were going towards his village, you attacked a couple of ghosts that materialized and attacked you, so you defended yourself technically. With success, because you're still around. You followed Bogda into the mountain to his village of Bargao, sorry. And you had a talk with the camp leader, who had a proposition for you guys to help out with the
if you like it, then you better put a ring
problems.
on it.
Yeah, it's the they had a very interesting suggestion, proposition for you that you didn't agree with for now. And he wanted to talk to the elder of the village because he might have some answers to some questions that you have, and that is where we left off. So as you moved from the main tent towards the little tent that is near a cave entrance, you cannot help but wonder what this elder then might have to tell you that hasn't already been said. As you come up to the little tent, you push the flap aside and go inside, where you see a very old gentleman, the long gray beard, sitting on a makeshift bed. And as you enter, he puffs a pipe that he has. And behind him, you notice a cave lit with candles, featuring a single tree. And he grins at the three of you, takes one more puff from his pipe, and he says, "I am Elder Balan, and I have been expecting you. Please." And he motions over to an area where the three of you can sit down.
Kalalila Carton, these are my companions, Casario Silverbrow and John Varenthal. If you've been expecting us, then you might be expecting our questions as well.
Perhaps. Please, sit down.
Ella will sit.
I have walked the world of mortals longer than most. I have seen darkness. I have paid in blood and tears. And I have remained vigilant in life to see the day that the Fae return. As I live, so does hope that they shall return. Here, he points over his shoulder towards the cave. Before you are the last of the Fae trees, which once thrived across the valley. They were as old as the land itself, even older than the Fae. When the first kings arrived, the old Fae tree wood was harvested for the finest weapons and crafts that the king's gold could buy. In a century, not a single Fae tree remained in the valley, save one. I planted this tree and have taken care of it, for it is the last of its kind. When the Fae return, it will flower and seed. It will plant the seeds under the shadow of the mountain in the old pine forest, and there the Fae tree will thrive and grow once again in the valley. The Fae tree binds the natural forces together between animal, mineral, and plant. Its roots dig deep to tap the minerals. Its tree bears the sweetest fruits for man and animal, and its seeds give new life to plants that once thrived in the valley. The tree still has life, but it has faded over the centuries, waiting for the Fae to return. Find the gems. Restore the Fane stone circles, and the Fane will return to help to rid these lands of this evil. You have come with many questions. How can I help you?
Where's the mountain Fane?
The mountain Fane rests with the druids at Yester Hill.
Oh,
She
dear.
would require the red gem.
Where would we find that?
The red gem of the mountain Fae was given to the wizard Kazan when the Dark Lord had captured her sister, the Water Fae. Kazan returned to the Ember Temple believing it the safest place to store such power and hidden away from the Dark Lord. I suspect he has created a tomb to protect the red gem. It has been centuries since I had visited the Amber Temple, but there was an unfinished crypt that was created to store more amber sarcophagi and imprison dark powers should they ever return. I would venture there to search for the red gem. It is in the lowest level of the Amber Temple to the south. That is all I know.
Is there anything else you know about the Amber Temple itself? What we might face when we go there?
The first time that darkness came to these lands, the Fae imprisoned the darkness in the amber deep in the mountain. A prison was built. Some call it a temple, but it only serves to imprison the darkest of powers the world has ever seen.
And the red gem.
And the red gem. For darkness can never truly be destroyed, and thus the temple was built to imprison the darkness. The Amber Temple was built by the ancestors of this very village. The Ursai were the mountain people and also the finest stonemasons of the realm. They know what lies imprisoned there. And it is why they built the gates of Tsolenka and why the shield maidens paid with their life when the Dark One came. The wizards once guarded the Amber Temple, but silence has come to this land along with the darkness. And I fear the Amber Temple is no longer safe, and the darkness that dwells within it looms, waiting for someone to release it upon the world once more.
The wizard, Exantha, have you seen him? Do you know where he may be? Or what he may be?
I only know of one wizard called Kazan. He was entrusted the red gem, and he has taken to guard it in the Amber Temple.
So we met a Fane a little while back. And she gave us this. He holds up the staff. How does it work? She said that it would like work with the stones or something.
May I see it? And he stretches out his hand.
He's gonna look over at Cassariel and Carla and hand it to her.
He touches it and he closes his eyes for a moment and says, "This is made through the power of the Fays. This is Feywood. And if I'm not mistaken, the power that courses through this is that of the green gem, the Forest Fane. You have met the Forest Fane, have you not?"
Yes.
She gave us the staff, but we didn't have the gem at the time.
The Dark Lord took it.
The gems are what fuel the power of the Fae. They still hold power, but what little they have, they can only sparsely use. The fact that they have given you such a gift means they put faith in you. It means that I will put my faith in you too.
We've met
Whatever else you need to know about the Fanes, I will tell you.
We've met some that spoke in the same way as you about rejoining the Fanes and or the forces of this and that trying to work together, but the last that spoke like that were the druids that we met near Yester Hill, and They had some less than peaceful intentions when it came to the population of this land.
The druids have lost their way. Guardians of the forests they are, but they feel the need to extend beyond that and purge these lands of anyone who thinks differently. I do not agree with their views, but I do understand the wish to do something.
We could provide an alternate solution. Do you think they would let the land live in peace? Could they be persuaded to?
I think it is worth a try.
If we could find a way to break the curse on your people, which, by the way, what do you think? Do you know what it is? Do you know if there is a way to break it? Would you be able to help us further along if we need allies?
The curse came along with a terrible secret that very few in our tribe know, but I am one of them. If you promise that this does not leave this tent.
Of course.
Sure.
When the Dark Lord came to the Amber Temple, he has made a terrible sacrifice, connecting with one of the most dangerous of old gods hidden away in the Amber. When he did, he condemned all of the land to stasis in varying effects. For us, it was quite literally being confined to our time in life, never to progress beyond that. For others, I have heard that there is no escape even through death. The curse knows many faces, but only one source. It is the Lord of this land that has caused this.
Yeah. Well, good news, we are trying to at least break the entirety of that bond that's keeping everyone where they are at the moment.
If we break the curse, will you die?
Eventually, yes.
But not immediately.
I am not sure, but my best estimate is that time will continue to tick for us, but not immediately try to make right what was wrong for over 400 years. So, no, I don't think we will all immediately die, but I cannot truthfully tell you that is the case.
You would at least have a permanent death if it were to happen. If the curse were lifted, which is more than most in Barovia get.
Yes.
Is there anything else you can share with us that might help us along? We're looking for a sun sword, any way to stop the Dark Lord, and obviously the Fanes is perhaps worth pursuing again. But is there anything else that could help us on our journey?
Forgive me if I am straightforward, but if you go to the Amber Temple and do whatever it is you wish to do there, then what? What is the goal after? March on Ravenloft?
No.
I mean,
We have to...
we're only going to have the red gem, right? So we still need the whatever color the last one is.
The blue gem.
Water Fane, yes?
Right.
The blue gem is conflicting. The gem itself, I feel I know the location of, but Simply finding the gem will not be enough. The vein of water is corrupted and will require a lot more help. She lives in the swamps. She will require your help to see her real goal. As for the gem's location, a castle stands not too far from here, known as Argynvost Hold. The guardians of this castle are guarding the blue gem.
Oh. Well,
We talked to them. They never made no mention of that.
As they should. They are guardians, after all.
They seem also a bit corrupted over time, or at least their leader seems to have lost his way. He had a purpose once and seems to have been beholden to his fear and anger and despair.
Time does strange things to those that are captured by it.
That's a good point, I think.
Well, it's handy that it is there, since that is definitely one of the stops we would have made after Argynvost Hold. We need to rally who we can in order to gather the best game plan for stopping all of this. And whatever we find at the temple will also let us know what's next.
forgive me, did you say you know how to break the curse? Or is that something we must discover on our own?
I wish I knew, but I do not know. I only know the source of the curse, and as it just so happens with most curses, if you destroy the source of the curse, you destroy the curse itself. Now, the source of the curse is without a doubt the pact that the Dark Lord made with the ancient god that he found in the Amber Vaults. It would only lead me to one conclusion: to know what the solution for us might be.
Balana, those living, well, those residing within Argynvost Hold, do you know of their curse?
I have heard that they too are forever bound to this plane by means of a curse. As you might understand, I have not been there to bear witness to this myself. For the last time I was even near Argynvost, it was a thriving castle with paladins in it. I suspect time has changed.
It's still a castle with... They're somewhat more... They're revenants, as they call themselves. And my question is, among the revenants, I found my brother, and Casariel, we found someone important to her as well. Do you think that if we break these curses, that they too will pass?
If they suffer from the same curse that we do, then it would only seem logical that that is the case. If their curse differs from ours, then perhaps the solution does too. The men and women at Argynvost always struck me as particularly wise. Perhaps they do have an answer to this themselves, but perhaps not. I don't think I can help you.
We can try to ask them again.
Especially if we're going to be looking for that blue gem.
Right.
One more thing.
Mm.
I hear your intentions. And I know that you wish to go to the Amber Temple for multiple reasons. Allow me to shed some light on one more thing. When the first castles of Barovia were built, the Ursari people, my people, the great stonemasons of this land, crafted them. And with the great castle of Barovia, Ravenloft, they had created a tunnel at the base of the rock pillar that the castle is housed upon. It was first created as an access to build the first castle, and it served as a stone quarry. However, the Ursari dug too deep, and some believe it was the Ursari that accidentally released the first dark powers into this land. No one knows for sure. The tunnels were sealed, and for centuries they remained unknown. Even Strahd has no idea. When he began the reconstruction of the castle and the building of Ravenloft, there may still be a secret way into the castle. Find the plans for Ravenloft. They are somewhere in the Amber Temple. Kazan had taken them and hid them in the Amber Temple, perhaps in hopes of finding a way to usurp her, the Dark Lord. If you would bring these plans to me, I will be able to show you the entrance to the cave and where it may lead into Ravenloft.
Thank you.
That's valuable information.
Mm-hmm.
If we can get into the
Oh.
castle without having to siege it or attack it, it's possible we might be able to end this without prolonged combat or bloodshed.
Best. We'll be able to get that dragon head back for the people of Argynvost as well.
Right.
I think you will give us the dragon head. I think you will give me the dragon head.
Do you think he'll ask a cost?
Your mother did pay a price as well. Do be careful with that.
Do you possess the powers of the druids?
To a degree, but you ask.
We have heard that, well, of the things that can help us defeat the Dark Lord, it seems to me that is elements of nature, water, specifically.
Sunlight.
Do you know any spells or any magic you could pass on to us that might help us manipulate water?
I'm afraid I do not, but again, the Amber Temple served as more than just a prison. It was a place of worship and a place of study, and if there's any place that would be able to teach you more about the ways of magic, the Amber Temple would be your best bet. Perhaps over there.
Do you know what kind of dangers lurk within? I don't mean the old gods, I mean before we get to that. Undead. Monsters.
Monks.
Monksters.
It has been centuries since I last went to the temple, but it has also been eerily quiet in terms of traffic coming from the temple down the mountain. You see, the trouble with evil is that it always spreads, sometimes a small area, sometimes in a large area. It always affects that which it touches. And it has a huge draw on those seeking power. And as he says those words, he really looks the three of you in the eyes. No, I do not know what lurks in the temple, but be prepared to find those that seek power and those that have been swallowed by it, would be my guess.
Did you say evil can never really be destroyed? It just changes form?
Those aren't my words, but I would say that I would agree with that to a degree. Perhaps true evil cannot be destroyed, but then again, does it need to be? Does evil not need to be present to show what good is? It's a question of balance.
All right.
We do know that the night can't live without the day. Dark and light are two sides of the coin. But where those sides meet, that's where the conflict arises. And that's where we will be. Try to stop as much of it as possible. That's where I will be. I don't know anymore. I suppose we need to find our way to a temple.
How much daylight is there left?
A few hours, I believe.
Would it be worth our while to camp here and then continue out in the morning? There's safety in numbers.
Twilight does happen to be my preferred element, but I realize that's just me.
We can continue further into the night then.
While we're here, your guardian had some interesting offers for us, and what's going on in this village? Why how are they? What's happening?
They leave no chance to proposition an alternative solution to our pain. Yes, I know what you speak of. We do not get a lot of visitors, you see, but when we do, we always do try to consider all options. Our curse binds us to a certain time, and one of the ways to break free of that is to produce offspring, we feel. For if the offspring is born, it is born outside of the circle, and perhaps with that it breaks the curse. It sounds outlandish, maybe, but we don't have proof that it doesn't work.
I mean, you say that they do this to many visitors. Have they tried with others?
Well, they've asked others, but no one has since agreed to do
Really?
this. And We don't get a lot of visitors.
All right.
Anyways, if you are willing to camp in our village, you are, I believe, more than welcome. Make sure to check with the village elder, but I imagine that it would not be a problem.
Thank you for all of your help. We will heed all of the advice and hopefully help this land.
Be safe.
I will exit with the notes.
As you exit, you bump into another Usari who was just about to enter. And he sticks his head inside the tent. He says, Elder Balan, it's happened again. We have a problem. We need help. The elder
What's
looks at the three of you and he says, perhaps one more question, then.
Okay.
You see, the man looks at the three of you and he says, well, I don't mean to be bothersome, but we hunt for our food here. We tried to do some fishing and we hunt. And we've had an exceptionally cold winter. There's not a lot to hunt, so we try what we can to get by. Our hunting is being made very difficult because of one singular creature in the area, and that creature has just killed another one of our tribesmen. There's a very large bear nearby, a cave bear. No one really dares go near it, and if we do, it is almost impossible to kill. We hate to ask, but since you are more than capable, well, warriors, we heard. Would it be at all possible if you would pay this cave bear a visit and make sure it doesn't trouble us any longer?
How far away is the cave from here?
No more than 20 minutes walking.
Should we take a short rest, gather our bearings, and maybe attack at the later time in the day?
I think we'll need to rest after we attack it, so perhaps we go, take care of it, and sleep, and then head on.
Should we rest up here and then we can go?
A short rest would be quite good, I think. And then we could go. We could gather some bearings for that, if you don't mind. I have, no.
By all means, please.
Yeah.
Cool. So we'll rest up for an hour and head out.
Feel free to apply a short rest. You have all the amenities around you to do that.
During that hour, I would like to talk to Roxandra and just try to get to know her a bit more.
All right.
And we don't need to actually. Okay, I was gonna say we don't need to go too much into detail. Just like John.
I know, but we're still.
Okay, cool.
I'm still gonna give it honor with a roll. See what happens. Give me just a blanket charisma check. Let's see how far you get with that.
With the goal here being just to learn more about her as a person, rather not necessarily not trying to flirt her up or anything. But okay, charisma check.
Mm-hmm. I got you.
I got just a flat charisma check would be a 14. Rolled a 9, but John's pretty charismatic.
Believe it or not. It's all right. Roxana will be dressed non-revealingly. The first attempt was perhaps too straightforward, but also part of like what they do. You having a talk with her for a part of that hour reveals basically the story that you've already heard, that they all really do wish for offspring to be born in the clan, because if that would happen, that would foster hope with people and it might just break the curse and yada yada, like the whole story you've just heard before. Roxandra doesn't come across as desperate per se, but like, yeah, she really does believe that this is worth a try and is very open to persuasion, so to speak.
And then beyond that, like, I already know her motives, but beyond that, just he's gonna talk to her about like just get to know her just a little bit, like what are her likes, dislikes, what are some things that she likes to do. So just getting to know her as a person before diving right in.
Cool. She likes hunting. She really enjoys fish, and she is very good at making campfires.
Cool beans.
Yes, an NPC.
I know. That's why I'm not. That's why I'm not actually asking for actual conversation or details. It's just these are the things that he's using during the hour to do.
Yeah. I'm loving this. Like, sure.
Before he leaves, can I ask, John? Do you mind if you haven't used that staff, have you?
No. Do you want to? Here.
Well, what does it do again? It cures mass cure wounds.
She says, yeah, if you use it in some way, if you like hold it and channel energy through it, I guess it will heal everyone around it, or some number of people.
No, I think you should keep it in case I go down.
You sure?
Sorry to stop you. Go ahead. See you later.
Okay, I imagine that was like in the middle of talking to Roxandra.
No, that was before when you were leaving to talk to her.
Okay,
before you
fine.
left.
This will be funny. He's like,
I was gonna attune to it, but no.
But like out of game or out of character, why not? Like, because I do
just
have
think
the ability to heal people, and I think I even have cure wounds as a spell.
It would save you a spell slot as well, Xariel.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I have more spell slots than you do, don't I, John? Daniel?
I'm
just trying to think of
5 spell slots, but 2 of them come back every short rest. So I think as the Fae staff becomes more powerful, it also will, or as we get more gems. So that's what the Fae said, is like you can imbue it with the power of the gems or something to that effect. So
that is what she said.
We can talk it over after we fight the bear.
Kill the bear, yeah.
For the hour, Carla would like to go and find someone who owns a crossbow and try to buy it off them, including bolts.
Cool. Yeah, these people do own crossbows. So you will have no trouble finding one. What is your offer on that?
Well, I have obviously money if they want that.
I'm going to use it to hunt a bear.
But I understand that they probably don't even deal with money.
Smart.
Yeah. Let me think. So
I'll pay you with that bear we brought in earlier.
Yes. How about we pay you by killing the huge bear that's eating your people? Would that be sufficient as payment?
What's the offer you're making, Carla?
I will pull out like all of the bits of trinkets that I've found throughout. I've been taking basically from people. So like pieces of jewelry, like there's like a beautiful mirror that I have, a hand mirror. I'll kind of show them my wares, so to speak. As I kind of open up the bag of holding and pull out these things that should not be in there.
Welcome to the shop of Carla.
Yeah. So like I'll give them like a selection of like some books that I've stolen, like something new reading for them, some shiny like jewelry that I've definitely pinched, or some like like this mirror.
I have a crossbow, a rather beautiful one. Do you want to just use mine?
It's like engraved with like your father's stuff. She just wants like a generic one.
No, well, it's exquisite actually. But you're welcome to use it.
Well, I think it's best if we both have a weapon as opposed to trying to share out our amount. So that's what she'll do. She'll put those out. She'll also put gold. I can also sing a tune for you from Neverwinter. They'll
be inclined to take 3 books off of you. So if you have that, they'll be fine for a crossbow.
So they'll get 1,002 things to do in Barovia.
Mhm.
A diary from someone in Valaki that she's taken it from. And
I remember, yeah.
Yeah, and also a one of the like random magic books that she got from Xanther's Tower. Like one of the ones that it's like the
Sure.
history of this.
Sure, you got yourself a crossbow.
Excellent.
Oh, you can sing. Do you have any stories? Tell me. Do you like ghost stories?
Do you like ghost stories? Oh, I have full of tricks. Excellent. Thank you so much.
Everyone showers you in crossbows.
You get one bolt and it shoots crossbows. It's a new magic item. Pew, pew.
Oh, that slightly inconvenienced me.
Thank you for this. This will come in handy when we slay that bear.
As you get ready to go out for slaying that bear, you notice that Roxana joins you. You notice that she's sporting also a rather large crossbow. She says, I can show you where it is.
Hi guys. She said she likes to hunt and she wanted to help us hunt the bear. So
Yes.
Sounds good.
All right. You guys ready?
John follows Roxandra with Casario,
Okay.
of course.
Carla, do you remember, as we kind of walk, do you remember in the death house, you found some
Yes.
spell books? 3, I believe, leather bound. Do you remember that?
In the death house.
Mm-hmm.
I did.
You did.
One moment. Bagman! And she's going to open her thing. Leather-bound spell books in the library that we've been building in there. Do you have it? Do you have them? Can you pull them out for me?
No.
No?
Did he eat
Okay. No, he only eats
No.
fabric.
them?
They've turned to dust.
Oh. Well,
I see.
you know. Okay, well, yes, everything that we did kind of find in there besides the deed crumbled nearly immediately. She'll like close it back up.
All
Which is
right.
unfortunate.
It is. All right. Well, let's go
Well,
kill a
that-
bear.
Let's go kill a bear. We pretend
You
it's
move
an
about
evil bear.
you move about 20 minutes away from the village, and Roxandra is following, sort of leading you guys towards a cliff. As she gets there, she says, hang on. I believe this is where it is. She points upwards. She says, this cliff goes up a little ways and into a bit of a canyon, a bit of a cave. From what we gather, this is where the bear is. I need all 3 of you to make me a what am I going to do for that? Give me a perception check.
Off.
3.
7.
15.
John, as you look up towards the suspected place where the cave might be, you get hit with a very faint odor of, like, death. Which is fitting because bears usually take their prey into the cave.
Does it smell like regular rotting meat or undead meat?
There's not really a distinction between those two, John, but between those two, if you really want to make the distinction, I would go for regular.
I'm allergic to undead, so I'd probably start sneezing.
We did establish that a couple of scenes ago.
That's the divine sense now. Divine sense is now that he starts sneezing whenever there's undead around. God damn it. Okay.
Roxandra takes one step forward, and as she does, you notice that she stops as if she ran into a brick wall. John, as you turn around and look at her, you notice that she has two gray strands of hair on her head.
Sandra, you may want to stay back. It seems...
I think I need to, and she takes a couple of steps back. I think I need to wait here.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. Is this area safe, Roxandra? You think you be fine here?
I'll be fine. The only danger should be up there.
I'm gonna look further up the trail. There doesn't seem to be anything coming this way or anything.
Seems to be empty.
Okay. All right.
Oh, how do we want to do this? Do we want to be stealthy? Will I turn us all invisible? Get the jump on the bear? Yes? Okay.
Surprise round in, yes.
So Carla will hold out her hands and cast invisibility on all three of us.
Beautiful.
Is there any trail leading up the path, or Carla? Do you see anything leading up, like tracks leading up or down? I can't read these at all.
Oh, Carla will kind of investigate the ground for tracks and stuff like that as she's going.
All three of you are invisible, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Roll me a perception check on the trail itself.
That's an 18.
Yeah, there's some bear paws here.
Right. It's definitely the place. She'll call out.
I'm gonna try to keep within 10 feet of each of them so I can still sense them.
I'm going to give them both dark vision for 300 feet.
Okay.
Oh, oh shit, do I need to see them to do that?
We can retcon it and say that you did it before we went invisible.
I believe it's on touch, and you should be able to manage touching.
No,
each
I do
other
have to
even
see
with-
them.
Oh,
It says that you can see.
Alright.
5 link,
Yep.
up to 5 link creatures that you can see.
in that
Okay.
case, nope.
I'll be able to see you guys at some point, and I'll give you dark vision.
It's just to get the jump, if we can.
Yeah. Okay, well. Oopsie. Now we know for next time.
No problem. So I'll tap Casario's hand, and I'll tap Carla's hand, and I'll sort of try to get them to meet, just so that we all know that we're in the same spot and we're ready.
Okay.
All right, so we're going to look in there, find the creature, and then all at the same time release the big guns on it.
Charge
Right.
and yell. Wait, no, not yell.
No.
Got it.
Big guns.
Right. All
The
right.
second I release my big guns as well, we will all be visible, so do be prepared for cover and all that sort of stuff.
All right.
Ready?
Okay. Give me your battle plan. What do you do?
I'm going to try and creep into the cave, surround the bear, and then I'm going to do volley kind of daggers. I don't know what you guys are going to do after we're
Smack
like
it.
on 1, 2, 3.
I'm gonna smack it.
Smack it.
Yeah, me too. Real hard.
I hold up my wand. Guys, I have my wand. Oh, wait, no, you haven't.
Oh, no,
Damn it.
poke it.
because
No,
Mary
she has it.
still
Yeah,
has it.
Casaro still has it. Damn it. Guys, I have an idea. Okay.
This is so stupid. It's genius.
They'll never see it coming.
They literally
Okay.
can't see us. We're invisible.
John, that's so stupid. No one would do it. Exactly. No one would expect it. All right. So yeah, if we creep forward, can we see into the cave?
The cave is really dark, but you should be able to just look inside.
All right. What I'm going to do will make light. Yes? So you'll be able to see it if you just wait until my go. So just a split second after I cast, you two go.
I'm gonna try
I'm going
not
to
to
do
move.
something that'll give you advantage on your strikes.
If they can't see us, we should be able to hit it without it knowing anyway.
All right. So I'm going to stealthily. Kitty cat, stop that. She's grabbing my mouse and yanking it. Stop that.
We have a
So I-
familiar, ladies and gentlemen.
I know. I need one because she's attention kitty. She
Starved.
likes being on camera. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna
starved
peek
show.
in.
Okay. You are hit with like the stench of death.
You can see in the dark, though, can't you?
Oh yeah, you can see in the dark, right?
Oh yeah, for 300 feet, I can see all the things in the dark.
Okay. This cave
Wow.
is littered in bones and death and blood and terribleness. There's no bear.
Yeah, okay.
Okay,
Carla's
I'm
going to
gonna step
turn around and see if there's a bear around.
You don't see one.
in-
Do you
How
think
long
it's
does this
invisible
spell
too?
last?
Oh,
Oh.
an hour.
Do you think it's invisible too?
Well, I can cast something in there that would make it visible if it was.
Let me go forward. Hang on. And I'm gonna start slowly walking forward, and I'm gonna tap both their hands so that they know I'm there. Are you okay? Are you okay with me scouting it out?
What could go wrong?
All right. And
Famous last words.
he'll
Famous last
slowly
words.
move forward just into the center of the cave to see if there's anything around him that he can't see.
Doesn't seem to be. No.
All clear.
Oh my god. I'm
That
gonna
echoes.
go in and look up.
You see a cave ceiling.
Okay.
It smells horrible in here.
Yeah.
Bone, can you do your vision?
Here, and he'll do divine sense to see if there's anything undead in the bones around him, or any other thing.
No, doesn't seem to be.
Okay.
All right. I don't like the look on his face, but that's very meta. The look on his face tells me we're about to get fucked up. But
Oh, yeah.
all right. So
Oh
we
shit! There we go. We're good.
Incredible. Perfect. Seamless production.
Yeah, I'm a professional.
okay.
Yeah.
We'll fix that in post. Great. When the bag comes in, right? We'll just wait for it. Yeah, when it comes in, we'll blast it.
I don't want to stay
It's a
in here.
long
It
game.
smells really bad.
Pretend it doesn't.
Should we bring these bodies back to get buried?
No.
Hmm.
Well, no.
Do you think
We
there's
should
anything
probably
in them?
Burn them.
What's the highest perception of you three, by the way?
Big Sariel.
15 is my passive.
14.
My passive investigation is like 20, if that helps. In any event.
Mine is 9.
Well, you know what? You know what? I will allow this for passive investigation this time. Yeah. Carla, you notice that there's something glowing in this cave.
We're allowed to interact with the thing on the map. Incredible. Carla's immediately going to beeline towards it.
There's something glowing underneath
jelly
a
bean?
pile of bodies.
Oh god, it's the bear's
It's-
liver, the only thing we can't eat.
Yes. No, it's not. From what
Chill.
it seems, it is a orange bit of like gemstone or something, and it's glowing. Almost looks like a shard of amber.
We found the red stone.
He'll... She'll turn
And
kind of back.
my headset just died, so give me 1 second.
No problem.
Money.
He can't hear us.
Oh
Wow,
my
we
god,
could say anything.
scheme.
Oh man.
Why is he grinning like that?
Amber.
It's
we
not
could-
good, I'm telling you.
So, I can not use my hands to pick it up, but
Okay.
it would drop invisibility. Well, what do you guys think?
What if you pick? Wait, if you pick it up, it'll what?
I'm gonna pick up
No.
a bone,
Oh, right.
a
I'll
femur,
kind of call it like there.
and I'm gonna hand it
Ooh.
to her. Just toss it around with this. See if. Oh, you
Okay, so
you just see a femur coming at you.
yeah, floating femur. She'll grab the floating femur and like poke at the amber to see if it's going to do anything. Getting ready to jump back if it does.
It moves as you poke it.
You want me to pick it up or what?
Check for traps. Is that a thing we can do?
Yes, I can check for traps and stuff like that. But the issue is, as soon as I, bring any arcaneness into it.
Well,
I'll
then we'll
keep
check
watch.
for traps.
Yeah.
Can't be that hard.
All right, I think yes. Let's drop invisibility because this is amber.
sure?
Like this could be something. It could be something important.
Should we pick it up and bring it
Alright.
back to the elder?
Or we could pick it up after we kill the bear. Or it could be the bear. Maybe the bear turns into a piece of amber. Maybe it sleeps in amber. Maybe the bear is actually a wizard.
Oh, the sleeping god! It's the sleeping god of bears. We killed a bear today. Oh no.
Oh God, no! I'm gonna look down. Is there anything changing from the pathway that we came up in?
Not at the moment, no.
If we only had
Alright.
a ranger with us, that would be so helpful.
Okay. I'll drop invisibility and I'll put it back on if the bear doesn't arrive in the time that I'm looking at this. Okay.
Cool. You're dropping it just for you or for everyone?
I'm dropping it for everyone because as soon as I do a spell, it will drop for everyone.
I just wanted to make sure. Okay.
And I'm going to identify whatever is happening with that amber.
It seems to be a shard from one of the amber sarcophagi in the Amber Temple. It resonates with power, but you don't know much else beyond that. It's very powerful, though.
If this is the same one, oh wait, no, sorry, you haven't told us yet.
What is a bear
can-
doing with something
Oh,
like
sorry.
that?
If this is the same one Strahd touched, do you think it could be a vampire bear? Vampire? Amber
Werebear.
Oh,
No. That's different.
what could a bear give up for dark power?
Who knows? Well, it's ours now, and Carla will scoop it up and toss it into her bag of holding.
Are there
Sure.
any bodies in here that still have flesh on it?
Not much, but yeah.
They have holes in their neck like they were drained of blood?
Probably have no necks.
Roll me a-
That's
That's a very good call, Kasari. He'll roll me a perception check.
vampire bear! Oh my
Oh,
God!
come on, perception, come on. Oh, that's an 8 plus 5.
13.
13?
What little flesh remains on the bodies over here are inconclusive with your assumed theory. It
Carla's going
might
to
be.
invisible both of them again.
Okay.
I guess
Well-
we're looking for a bear.
Wait for that damned bear.
Wait, so are you picking that thing up later once we kill the bear?
She picked it up.
Yes,
you picked it
I
up.
picked it. It's already in the bag of holding.
Okay.
So you made them invisible. You made the party invisible again, right?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm gonna stake out here for a bear.
Should we go tell
Yeah.
Roxanne that it's not here yet? Roxana?
Yeah, why don't you go tell her, John?
Okay.
I'll keep my eye on
don't
you.
split up. Don't split up. What if it comes and he's
It's the
down there and
edge.
it's
Carla can tell her with her mind.
if I cast anything, the invisibility is gone.
He goes to
Even
the
less
edge.
so.
Are there any bears coming up?
Not at the moment.
Roxana! There's no bear in here. We're gonna wait for it.
Roxana looks up and sees nothing, and she says, "John,
Yeah. I'm right here. I'm waving.
I can't see you."
I'm jumping. Okay.
Sorry, I was
Anyway,
just
yeah.
shaking your head at Carla here. Think we should tell him?
No, let him suffer.
Anyway, we're gonna wait in here till it comes back. What? We'll meet you back at the camp.
I'll wait here.
Careful, the bear might come back.
Okay.
All right, that's it. You can go back and. She's gonna wait there.
Carla's going to pickpocket anything that's left from these bodies.
There's nothing that you can pickpocket from these people other than like a piece of thigh flesh.
Oh.
So there's nothing.
Nice.
How long do you guys want to wait here?
As long as the bear shows up.
Okay. So you wait for a solid hour, you turn visible again, and there's no bear.
Oh.
Should we continue on the path down there?
Sorry?
Should we continue on the path?
Do you have a trap,
Down.
Carla?
Pardon?
Did you get a trap?
I
Yes.
did get a bear trap. Well, it's a wolf trap, so I don't know how good it's going to be on a big fucking bear, but... Alright. Carla is going to set one of the wolf traps that she got, and she's going to cover it, like, in the very center of the room, and she's going to sort of cover it snow and, like, bones and bodies and that kind of thing. To try and, like, conceal it a little bit so that when its hand goes down on it, it will clamp up.
A trap has been set.
I guess
All
we're
right.
going back there for now.
I mean, we could try and, like, summon it with, like, bear mating noises or something.
What does a bear mating sound like, Carla? I think you should do it. Go on.
She minor illusions like a bear mating sound, like a...
Oh, you're Randy Bear.
I think
You're Randy Bear.
I think it sounds more like
bear,
that.
yes.
And they're walking down. They're walking down, making these noises
Kill the lady.
as something horrible happens. Thank you.
That kind of sound.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So you waited in the cave for about an hour. Your invisibility has dropped. You've dropped a wolf trap in the hopes that the bear itself, once it returns, gets captured by that. And after an hour, you don't see the bear. You've taken your amber shard in your bag and you make your way down the cave again. Down the cliff and back to Roxandra. Casero, you are leading the three of you. I would assume annoyed by the fact that you've been basically spending the better part of 1.5 hours up here without any avail.
Us laughing at the bear mating noises.
And as you are jokingly making bear mating noises, you turn around over your shoulder and you join in making that sound. And as you open your mouth to make the bear mating sound, both Carla and John are shocked by how well you just made a bear sound. Even you're shocked that that came out of your mouth. And then it hits you that that might not have been you.
Oh,
You
God,
turn
it was-
around, and as you turn around, from the trees in front of you,
Oh,
a
Jesus. fucking
giant
Christ.
bear leaps down from the trees and
That's a
pounces.
big fucking bear.
That's a big fucking bear right there. It leaps down from the trees, and I need you to make a strength check
A strength? Why always strength?
because it's a bear. It doesn't want to talk
Alright.
with you.
It's a bar.
10.
Yeah, no, you're knocked down there, girl. You're on your back.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Oh,
And the
God, it
bear-
wants to mate.
Ah,
Why is this region of Barovia so fucking horny?
the mountains. As you wear things to people.
This bear also wants to break a curse. Yeah.
We were just making mating noises, which was probably ill-advised.
I didn't want to call it. You guys did, not me. You. The bear itself
Throw the amber at it.
throws out a large roar. Other than being on your back, you are frightened of this bear for 1 minute, Casariel. Basically the entire fight, depending on how it goes. Roll for initiative. Let's go.
Ooh. Yeah, that's it. That is going to be a 22.
$14.
Four.
Oh.
God, I rolled so good during the last fight.
Okay.
Okay, kitty cat.
Noted. All right, you guys ready?
Mm-hmm.
The bear itself is allowed to go first and will double attack on Casariel. Once with a claw attack and once with a bite attack. The claw attack will try to hit for a 23.
That hits.
Okay. And that is a critical because you're on your back. And the bite attack is a 19,
That also hits.
which is a critical because you're on your back.
Is it a critical? Is that if you're paralyzed? Just checking because this is bad. Just making
It
sure.
is. And no, it's in this case, it's a critical because you're on your back.
If you're prone, it's a critical? Okay, okay.
It is for this bear.
Okay.
That is a total of 24 plus 2 times 7 is 14. That is 38 points of piercing damage.
Total 38?
Yes.
Okay.
How fucked up are you right now?
Less than half, but
Okay.
Carla.
I mean, I'm bloody. I've got
Polymorphin the fuck out of
gigantic
that bear.
The what now?
Polymorphin.
Or your friend.
Oh yes. I'm going to polymorph the bear. I'm going to try to polymorph the bear into a mouse. So I need a wisdom 16 saving throw.
Okay. Ooh, that's gonna be tight. 17. Oh, it has a bonus.
Shit! Alright. Bonus action. Tail.
Yep.
Okay. I'll enact that in the next round. Okay.
That would have been so cool, though. Oh, fuck.
Oh,
And throw it onto the trap.
Grab it in his neck and just walk over there.
yeah.
All right. Let's see. Next up is John.
All right. He sees Casariel get pounced on, and he immediately begins to rush over. And he's going to rush up 30 feet and cast Shadow Spirit. Summon Shadow Spawn.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what normally happens is he reaches out and a bunch of tendrils come down and sort of a bunch of strings come down and form this shadowy stoker. But this looks a lot more misshapen and unnatural. This thing looks like a mockery of what Stoker was, and it goes just south of the bear. I can't control it.
I can.
Okay, cool. And as John is rushing forward, he reaches out and a bunch of strings form this, and he's just gonna, the Shadow Spirit is going to make this warbling, ethereal howl, this piercing, keening noise that pierces out in the night, and it's going to use its its dreadful scream, which can, everything within 30 feet has to make a wisdom saving throw of DC 17 or be frightened.
I got a 21.
Damn. Okay. Sarah's already
Sarah,
frightened.
you too.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's true.
But she's frightened of the bear. But either way, I don't think it really helps. So, okay, that's that. It's going to be a what do you call it? Despair. So the bear can't move. It reduces its speed by 20 feet per turn. Sorry, I'm a little bit. This is a scary moment.
I got a 21. So
Right? No. The other thing. This is just passive. Anything within 5 feet of it can't move more than or reduces its speed by 20 feet per move.
Wow. Okay.
So yeah, it's going to stand there like growling and twitching next to it while John is rushing to grab Casario.
Alrighty.
Wait, I'm wearing a breastplate that nullifies all critical hits against me.
That is true.
Oh,
Yeah,
Wow,
that halves that damage.
right.
So, how much was that?
Okay.
24 plus
66
14.
minus 28. Hold on.
So you can take half of that. Yeah, that is 100% true.
Wow, that's big.
Yep, adamantine breastplate, y'all. You won it.
Okay, yeah, it was 38. So 38 divided by 2. So I'm going to restore 19.
That's 19.
hit points.
Yep,
So
100% true.
I can't.
Good catch.
Okay, I can't.
I'm looking through all my stuff. I'm like, sorry
And it
if I
is
interrupted.
your turn.
something.
No, you're
great.
fine.
Perfect. Oh shit. Okay. I had something else planned because I was about to die. Okay. Okay. I'm frightened of the bear.
Yes.
Yeah. Fuck this bear. I'm just gonna. It's on top of me, ripping me to
Basically.
shreds. Yeah. So I'm going to reach up to it, and my eyes will turn black, and all of my veins turn black all the way from my eyes, all the way down my neck into my hands, and I'm gonna inflict wounds.
Love it.
Okay. This is a big deal. Oh, okay. 17 plus 9 to hit.
That hits.
26. Wow.
Okay. 60-10. I don't have that. I'm just gonna actually roll in D&D Beyond because I don't have 60-10.
Oh wow.
Let me know what kind of damage that is.
That's
It's
insane.
necrotic. And it's 43 points of necrotic damage.
It does nothing to the bear.
Oh, it's an undead bear. Nar.
Wow. Cool story. Okay. Wow. Cool. All right.
Yeah.
I mean, does it look undead? Would I have known that by like looking at it?
You would have not have known by looking at it, but now that you realize that your pain and suffering on it does little to stir it, you're noticing that that waft of undead that you smelled in the cave sort of wafts around this bear as well.
Okay. All right, that's the end of my turn.
Roxara notices the struggle up there and gets closer and loads her bow. You notice that she does so under strain, but you will try to help. It is the bear's turn. The bear does a double attack on Casario. One with a bite, one with a claw. The claw is for a 18.
Yep, that hits.
And the bite is for a 19.
They both hit.
I do have to assume that you have stood up at this point, right?
No.
Okay. If you're still lying down, then
I'm
they would apply
understanding.
as...
It was on top of me, is what I understood, right? Like ripping me apart. It jumped on me.
Well, you should be
And I'm
able to
afraid
stand
of
up.
it.
Still, with the adamantine breastplate, this doesn't matter because that would still make them into criticals, but you don't have criticals. So that does save you there. In total, that is a 20... that's 12 and 9, so that's 21 points of piercing damage. Carla, your turn.
Okay, so Carla is going to rush forward until she's 5 feet near Casariel, and she is going to say, she's going to try and just basically help her, and you can see she, like, in a moment of scramble, a sort of ghostly spectral form of Casariel's mother reaches out and sort of encloses her. And basically, Casariel, you're going to get oh sorry. Okay, so it's a roll of my thing. That's my bard level, so 9 + 6. Why can't I think? 15 temporary hit points. As your sort of mother's form encloses you, and you're also going to gain an additional 10 feet of speed and a bonus 1 to your AC.
Beautiful
okay.
symbolism there.
Yeah. So she kind of calls forward her ghost as she's looking at her, and it encloses her and protects her. And that's my bonus action. As my main action, is this bear wearing metal, or is it just undead looking?
It's not even undead looking, but no, there's no metal.
No metal. Okay, sorry. All right. Carla then is going to, I suppose, cast a psychic glance out at it. 4th level, so it needs to make me an intelligence save of 16.
Yep. Okay. Well, it's a lot, but it's not particularly intelligent, so let's see. No. That's a -2.
Yeah. So as the sort of like vengeful sort of like protective spirit of Casariel's mother sort of wraps her in this beautiful embrace, the sort of bride of Strahd version of her reaches out and claws into the brain of this beast, and will do an extraordinary amount of damage that I will take a moment to calculate. Oh, 76. Holy fuck, okay. And you know I'm throwing an extra bardic bonus in there. Okay.
Of course.
Yeah. Oh, double 6. That's 32 psychic damage to this creature. And
psychic. Yep.
Psychic damage, yeah. And it's incapacitated until the end of my next turn. Until the start of my next turn.
Nice.
Yeah. So she's going to reach out and she's going to just shove all that spiritual energy in and past Casariel. And then step back. Step the fuck back.
That is cool. All right. John.
All right, so incapacitated. Trying to wonder. Is that the one where you get an advantage against it? No, I don't think I have the movement to get up there, so I'm gonna rush up and grab Casariel as this thing is like, it's sort of not mauling her right now because it's weakened by Carla. I'm gonna grab her and I'm going to, oh damn it, Carla, it's too close.
Murder it. I'll be okay. Murder it.
So I was up
Use
here.
all the big guns.
I'm gonna go over here and try to get as far away from Carla as I can, slide up next to Casariel, and thunderstep back up the trail.
Cool.
All right. And I'm grabbing Casariel and taking her with me. And yeah, Thunderstep is each creature within 10 feet of the space that I left must make a Constitution saving throw, taking 3d10 on a failed thunder damage on a failed save and half on a successful one.
And how much? Constitution of?
Oh, 17.
I got 14. So.
Oh wow. Okay. So 3d10.
I was got a giant bonus on Constitution, but I rolled shitty.
Oh,
thank you. That's going to be 10 plus 9, so 19.
Okay.
So yeah, go ahead.
What kind of damage?
Thunder damage.
Yep, you're good.
So as John slides up, he puts one hand on Casario's hand as she's sort of like reaching into the bear and dealing damage to it, and yells out to Carla, move away from it. And just strings come in out of nowhere and wrap around both of them and just yank back, and all the strings collapse in on themselves, creating a small explosion on the bear. And that's it.
Noted. Casariel, your turn.
So how does the bear look? Like
Injured, not bloodied, and like a giant angry bear.
So I'm sorry to break on. As this happened, Shadow Stoker bites and tries to do some cold damage.
Okay.
So that's going to be a 24 to hit.
That hits. Wow.
Rollsies. And let me roll mine. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there. That's going to be 5 plus 6, 11 cold damage.
That hits, and that does make him bloodied.
And so now.
all right. Necrotic doesn't work, is it? And I'm going to, her hands will glow, and I'm going to cast Guiding Bolt at it.
Cool.
At 4th level.
Oh my god.
Because why not?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's a 16 plus 9.
15.
25 to hit.
25.
Hits.
Okay, and I'm gonna also just roll from here. Oh, that's a 33 points of radiant damage.
Ow.
33 points of radiant?
That's right. But Casario's eyes are still black. And she still looks like
girl.
a nightmare.
What happens? Because there's no way.
Okay, yeah, so...
That's 66 points of damage.
66? Oh, because it's... Oh, brilliant.
It's radiant.
Yes. Oh, great. Yeah, so she's on the ground. She's like... and she tries to inflict wounds, and it doesn't work. And then she gets... You know, she's bloody, she's scraped up, and then she gets pulled away. She smiles at John and then casts the guiding bolt, and it literally, like, from inside of it, just explodes out into a billion bear pieces.
Love it.
Yeah.
And that is indeed a good description, because Carla,
Oh no.
I need you to make a dexterity saving throw.
You're very dexterous. You're super dexterous. You're very nimble. The most.
Literally, it's my whole thing. That is going to be at 25.
That is enough, but you will take damage as this corpse explodes in a cloud of guts and amber dust.
Ooh.
Amber dust.
Yes, you will only take half, which is 5d8.
Oh boy.
Oh my God.
I'm not even kidding you. Yeah, this is hello, what?
Does this happen when it dies no matter what?
Yeah, it's 10d8 by default. So
It's
that's
only when
fucking
killed
scary.
by a guiding bolt. Level 4. That's insane.
I know.
Crazy.
13, that is it's 20, 23, 26 points of, what kind of damage is that?
Is it necrotic or?
I think so.
I would imagine necrotic, but I don't know.
Necrotic damage, yeah.
God.
26 points.
Yeah. Carla takes it, sort of like, it blasts her back because she's so small. And she's like, oh, fuck's sake.
But it is dead, and it probably won't be able to stand up again. It's over.
Wow.
I look like Carrie from the movie Carrie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, you mentioned the staff, and he pulls out the staff and casts Cure Wounds on everybody.
Thank you.
I think that was inventory. and it was 1d8 plus 5. Okay, cool.
Do we do our own, or is that something that you
6.
roll?
Nah, it's 6 to everybody.
Yeah. Okey duck.
So not as good as
This
it
is
could
better than what it was.
Literally, yeah.
Roxandra gets a little closer and yells with a rather frail voice, "Did you kill it?"
It's
Say that.
dead.
I will. Give me a moment, she says as she strolls a little back.
Casario, you all right?
Fucking bear. Fucking undead bear. What the fuck was that all about? She's like stomping away, like trying to wipe blood off of her, squeeze it out of her hair.
Carla,
She's just cursing.
Carla, are you all right?
Stupid fucking undead bear. She said it eloquently.
All right, I'm gonna go see if Cassandra is okay.
Like, I don't know about you guys, but I'm hearing this Joe Pesci like a
Yeah.
as she walks away.
Yeah.
What the hell's got Bear's coming. Jump out of the
Do I
forest.
amuse
Jump on
you?
me. Stop
Bear?
attacking me. I didn't even talk to her before.
Anyway, yeah.
Yeah, and then her eyes are just starting to go back to normal. The black, like the pure black of her fingers is starting to subside as she's like stomping towards Roxana. Swearing.
Roxandra looks a lot older and her hair has like turned white. And as you approach, she falls into John's arms and she says, "I'll be fine here. I'll be fine. Did you get the bear? That's what matters."
Yes, and he points to Casario, who's covered in, and actually both of them who are covered in like blood and bear stuff. Yeah.
Look at him, untouched. His arm is still sparkling.
Yes, I feel like I'm actually cleaner than I was before we went up there.
I'm proud of all of you. Thank you. You've done our village a huge service.
Thank you for saving my life again, brave paladin. As you
Thank-
have so many times before.
Thank you for
He is a brave paladin, isn't he?
exploding the
Oh, yeah.
bear as you have done once. But also many other times with other things.
That's right. I have.
She can fly.
Usually
now.
that spell works really well, and she's gonna say that to Roxana. Just keep stomping past.
She can fly, you know.
Yeah, I can
Let's-
fly. I can fly. Wings and everything. Just keep walking.
I'm a goddamn angel from hell. Wait.
A fucking angel.
Alexander grins at the three of you and says, "Let's get back to the village. I'm pretty sure that the elders would like to hear of the heroic deed that you've done today. Thank you. Let's go." And she stumbles forward towards the village. As you all follow her, what this means and what the follow-up is will be what we will cover in the next episode of The Curse of Strahd. Because it's time.
That was the Bear of Strahd. Killing it gains you 14 levels.
The Bear
Yeah.
of Strahd,
Did
yes.
they has one level? Did we just level up? I can't remember.
No,
we just
did. Yeah,
before we
just before
into
this
the
one,
voting.
Yeah.
It hasn't been too long, yes.
Yeah. But no, that was. Oh God, 5d8 on a half.
Yeah, I know.
Really?
Scary,
If I didn't
right?
have that breastplate, y'all, I would
Yeah.
be dead.
Yeah.
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 That's why. Yeah, the first. I
Thank God I remembered that.
was more than 60 feet away from you, so it was gonna take me at least 2 turns to get up to you, no matter what. I was like, God damn.
I have Death Ward, so that was my plan.
That's
But
not
then I
even
was like,
fine
I'm not
anyway.
dead. Perfect, I can cast this and it will surely kill it.
Oh God.
Nothing. That's the worst.
Hmm.
Worst. Fourth level spell. Thank goodness I
It
didn't
was
use
so
my
much
fifth level
damage. Oof.
spell. So much damage.
Yeah.
I know the inflict
23.
wounds. Oh God.
Yeah, and it just looks cool. The inflict wounds is my favorite.
It's a cool spell, though.
It is.
So yeah,
All
next episode you will learn what this means and what this does. And well, you found an amber shard. You probably want to show that.
Yeah, can this amber thing turn other things into explosive undead? Oh God.
Yeah, interesting.
I hate bears now. You should have killed that bear.
We should go and slaughter all the bears. No.
She's still, sorry, my head cannon is all the way back. She's just cursing bears out.
She has a grudge against any type of thing who's ever killed her. Yep. Oh, the damn raccoons! So kill all the raccoons. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
Fun time.
Absolutely amazing. Absolutely. So next week we will do episode 35 of the Curse of Strahd. Wow, we're really getting there. Where you will probably make your ascent towards the Ember Temple, maybe even reach the Ember Temple and see what darkness lies in there. It's going to be exciting. But for now, this is what it is. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And please do tune in for episode 35 next week on your favorite platform. We hope to see you there.
Tell us in the comments about what your most scary encounter in the cold would be.
Yes. All right. Sounds good. We will see you next week, episode 35. Catch you there.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.